Welcome to
Paranormal Hood.
Who the fuck is this?
What's up with the lights?
Who the fuck is this?
Paranormal Hood.
Who the fuck is this?
Paranormal Hood.
You're feeling lucky duck, then fresh your luck.
Freak with me. That's what it's called.
We have the paranormal voice of the hood.
Freak with me. That's what it's called.
Jiggy and the hoodie.
Freak with me. That's what it's called. You're listening to Paranormal Hood Live Radio with the sound of DJ Juan Grant. Paranormal Hood.
This is Paranormal Hood. Jiggy and the hoodie. Ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Freak with me. As I crawl through the hood. Paranormal, baby. Is how we doing it. Paranormal Hood.
Paranormal Hood.
Paranormal Hood.
Keeping it on lockdown. All world is in the building.
Welcome to my hood. Where ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Where everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. If you're scared of dying, we got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. If you really try to ride, step into the buckle up. I'ma show you where it's at. We gon' burn a couple blunts, we gon' pop a couple caps. I ain't talking about 4-5s from the strap. Psilocybin driving, so we headed off the map. What you know about? Taste the color, seeing sound with a crystal eye. Turning nothing into something when we alchemize. Vandalize the lies with the truth. Ain't nobody wanna take shots at this proof. All we ever wanted was the answers. Looking for unique, but our vision keep us phantom. Phantom black man, ghost writing in a pentagram. I'm from the place where our thoughts meet the program. Not too many open to the power that they hold. Just know that when we shine, it's the reflection of your soul. Supreme beings moving, watch the galaxy implode. We are not alone. If you're not normal, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. Where ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Where everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. If you're scared of dying, we got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. If you really try to rise, step into the I gotta hold on to this feeling. I'll be seeing visions through the folds of the prism. Projecting all wishes, anything I want is given. Paranormal vision, you can call it supervision. Control the superstition, make them wonder how we do it. They seen us in the mud, now we out here making music with the paranormal movement that's stronger than what you deal with. If Jesus was just a fraud, then hallelujah for Judas. Caesar is not the mob, so it just had to be Brutus. They hate when we on our job, cause persecution is useless. Proof that what we doing is more than just making music. Utilizing the truth, drop it off in the hood.
Show 'em what's really good.
The feeling is understood. We know just what it means to get it by all means. Supreme beings moving, watch reality explode. We are not alone. If you're not normal, welcome home.
Yeah.
Welcome to my hood. Where ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Where everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. If you're scared of dying, we got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. If you really try to rise, step into the portal.
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
20,000 police in the whole town. Can you dig it? Hey!
dig it? Can you dig it?
Smoke weed every day.
From Boston outer space, we're gonna take you all over the place. So sit back and enjoy the ride, because this is Paranormal Hood Live.
All right. You're gonna learn today.
Let's get it started. What's Hood Hoodies? Welcome to Thursday night. This is Paranormal Hood Live Radio. We're live and direct in the Garden of Knowledge Studios. I'm your host, Jiggy.
I am smoking.
Shout out to all our early arrivals in the chat. Lisa F was the first person in there. Davey over in Scotland, listen, Out of Minds. All the homies is trickling in. So welcome. Thank you guys for joining us early as we kick the show off. I hope you all had a very paranormal week and there's some good paranormal shit happened to you. It's been hot, but guess what? It's supposed to be at summertime. So my ass ain't complaining. Although, don't you feel like we kind of live in Tornado Alley now? Like, we're averaging tornadoes at least once a year. They hadn't had tornadoes around a long fucking time, so. Climate change. Just saying.
Well, climate change and stuff, but it's normal for us to have warnings. And I think the average is like 3 a year in New England or something like that. So, but it's been a few.
Insane.
A
But
lot
it's
of
just
warnings.
Hey,
It was
Michelle.
crazy yesterday. I'm pretty sure I seen the start of one, and there was definitely microbursts coming off, and it was crazy. I'm driving on the highway, and they got the signs that say thunderstorm warnings. So I'm driving, keep saying that for a little while, then all of a sudden it says tornado warning, and as it says that, it's like just starts getting windy as fuck. Just branches were going down, leaves everywhere and stuff, and I'm looking off, and I'm like, that doesn't look like normal cloud over there and stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. But whatever. Survive it. Hot. Tornadoes, microbursts, nor'easters, all that good shit. But whatever. It's New England. That's why we live here. Seems like it's fall me everywhere I go, though. We'll see what happens the next time I travel. What's up, Raphael? Page brother. Michelle Embry, we see you. So yes, folks. We're riding out. You know how we do. We'll do the news in a few minutes and stuff. Cool K. What's up? Welcome. Everybody light up. Who's smoking with us tonight? What you smoking on? Don't let's be like, is anybody fucking microdose? Anybody on shrooms either? I anybody talked about that in a while. Everybody's been kind of quiet about it. We need to do a show soon. Talk about some psychedelics.
Maybe I'll break out the changa later.
Cool, Michelle. Thank you. While you're working, listening to us. So just keep listening. We'll keep talking. But yes, folks, it's been an interesting, fun week. Like I said, it's the weather. It's been hot. It is what it is. We get over it. Keep it moving. And trust me, summer's almost over anyways, pretty much. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get an Indian summer in fucking September or something, you know? Yes. Yeah, Google Hangouts has gone away. I see that's everybody, Davey, everybody's fucking been scrambling to finish it. So I don't know. Are they done today? Is today the official end of Google Hangouts? Not that it really matters. And I know, Davey, you were trying out something else the other day. So I hope that works out for everybody. Jonaside, welcome. And again, before Google Hangouts, there was Skype. There's always some way to fucking get your shit done. So life goes on. We all just got comfortable with some shit. So changes. There's still somebody who's on MySpace functioning. Just remember that. I don't know who.
Tom.
Tom?
Tom's still on MySpace.
I don't think he is. I think his account is just there like everybody else's. I bet you Tom don't even visit MySpace anymore. I bet you Tom got a Facebook
I bet you
page.
if I sign up to MySpace right now, Tom's going to send me a message saying, "What's up and welcome to MySpace."
That's his MySpace bot. That's the bot.
That's
kid.
really Tom. He says hello to everybody when they join.
And he makes himself your friend, like your first friend. Like, how intrusive is that?
And you can't unfriend him either.
No, that's bullshit. Like, why do you get to be my friend, motherfucker? I don't know you. And that's what I said when I first joined MySpace. So who the fuck is this Tom, dude?
How come I can't unfriend this
Yeah.
fucker?
How the fuck he just show up?
I
My
fucking
shit?
like this guy.
She was like, it's mine. Everybody's going to be my friend. I get maybe that was the only way he can make friends. He said, fuck it. I'm going to make a fucking social media platform where I can finally have everybody be my fucking friend. I mean, technically, we're all Zuckerberg's friends. We're like family with Zuckerberg. He knows everything about us, so what's the fucking difference, right? You know what I mean?
He don't know everything about us. I mean, if he wanted to, he could just go find out whatever he wants, but he doesn't know everything about us. The servers that Facebook are on knows everything about us.
He knows everything about us. He's sitting at home watching and listening. He probably has favorite people he just watches.
Most people don't even know everything about themselves. He can't even. There's no way he could know everything about everybody. That's fucking.
Everything.
That's like an impossible amount of information to fucking remember.
He knows everything.
How many hundreds of millions of users are on Facebook, and he knows everything about everybody?
Everything. It's all there if he wants it. He said, what's Jakey doing today?
Yeah, like I said, you can just go look on the server.
Anything's possible. It's all shady. What the fuck ever. Yes. All right, I got a bunch of stuff to talk about, so give me a second. And let's do some news. Anything that we can find that's a source of that weird, that strange, that odd, that different, that not necessarily mainstream news. That news could be here on Earth. And yes, I said Earth. ERF. That's how I like to say it. Deal with it. Or maybe it's up to the moon where I say Michael Jackson resides. He's about to do his nightly performance. Or maybe it's up to Mars, the supposed red planet. Or maybe it's somewhere beyond. Something or someplace out there that has just been found. But if it's out there and it's making any kind of noise, we find it and we bring it to you every Thursday night. On this part of the show, we simply call Smoke King's Paranormal News.
Oh, hash. Thanks for reminding me, Davey. Where's my hash?
But since Smoke King is busy right now rolling, I got some stories over here. So I'm going to let y'all know what's going on in the Omniverse, the Universe, the Multiverse, the Verse Simmons.
Oh, shit, I got mushrooms. Anybody want some mushrooms?
Batman versus Superman. Avengers versus X-Men. All that good shit.
Ah.
All right.
Thought I lost my hash, but I put it in with the chonga.
Quantum entanglement has finally been captured for the first time. Quantum entanglement, the complex situation where particles are able to stay connected to the extent that the physical properties of one will still affect the other, no matter the distance between them. Albert Einstein nicknamed this phenomenon as spooky action at a distance, which may sound confusing, but the first ever photograph, which can be seen below, that has just been captured shows why he would give it that name. Even though all this took place decades ago, it's still a talked about subject even today. So much so that a group at the University of Glasgow decided to go one step further and use a sophisticated system of lasers and crystals to capture the first ever photo of quantum entanglement, violating one of what's known as Bell's inequalities, which confirms it actually true. According to senior author Miles Paget, who holds the Kelvin Chair of Natural Philosophy and is a professor of physics and astronomy at the University of Glasgow in Scotland, this is the pivotal test of quantum entanglement. While many people have been using quantum entanglement and Bell's inequalities in applications such as quantum computing and cryptography, this is the first time anyone has used a camera to confirm that it does in fact exist. In order to get the photograph, Paget and his team first had to deliberately entangle photons or light particles using a method which is known to work. They hit a crystal with an ultraviolet laser, and some of those photons from the laser broke apart into two photons. Due to conservation of both energy and momentum, each each paid of photons, I think it's supposed to say pair of photons, were entangled just as they intended. What they found was that the entangled pairs, it was supposed to say pairs, were in sync for far more frequently than anyone would expect if a hidden variable were involved, therefore it violated Bell's inequalities. Then, using a specially designed camera that has the ability to detect individual photons, the researchers snapped a picture. However, they were only able to take a photo with a photon arrived with its entangled partner. This just proves that the quantum effects do impact the types of images that can be recorded, which is extremely weird. The team do hope to find out more about this, though, and are currently working on improving the imaging performance of the telescope. What is quantum entanglement? Despite his involvement with it, Einstein still hated the idea of quantum entanglement as it violated the classical description of the world. Therefore, to get around this little predicament, he proposed a way that entanglement could coexist with classical physics. He suggested that there was an unknown hidden variable that acted as a messenger between the pair of entangled particles, keeping them connected and communicating over such large distances. However, there was just one problem with this theory. There was no way to test it. To make matters even more awkward, there was also no way to test the stranger alternatives which stated that the particles are able to communicate with each other faster than the speed of light and have no objective state until they are observed. Of course, with such a hot topic in the science world, it wasn't long before someone successfully devised a way of testing these ideas. The person was physicist Sir John Bell. In the 1960s, Bell came up with a test that disproved the existence of these hidden variables, which can only mean one thing. The opposite is true, and the quantum world is very peculiar indeed. The implications of this research are mind-blowing. At some stage in the future, it will become possible to have a conversation using quantum entanglement and powered radio transmitters. Thus, it will be possible to communicate with anybody, anywhere in the universe. Uh-oh. They ain't just thinking about here on Earth, nigga. They're talking about communicating everywhere. Motherfuckers on other planets and different spaces and shit, you know what I'm saying? Different places. What's up, Brad Gray? Everybody joining the chat. All right, I've got another story here for you guys. Give me a second. What are you doing? There we go. Whoa. Sasquatch search leads to shots being fired at Kentucky campsite. What did you say?
I think I got that story.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
A couple in Kentucky were forced to cut their camping trip short after they encountered a gun-toting man who was apparently searching for Sasquatch and shooting into the woods.
Epic fail.
The bizarre incident reportedly occurred this past weekend as Brad Ginn and Madeline Duran were enjoying some time at the Mammoth Cave National Park. In the wee hours of the morning, I wish I could say that with Davey's accent. Like in the wee, see, Davey would say that so eloquently. In the wee hours of the morning, where'd I go? Hold on. Where'd it go? There we go. In the wee hours of the morning on Sunday, the campers were roused from their slumber by a strange visitor to the campsite. The odd individual informed the drowsy duo that something had destroyed his campsite and that he was looking for the perpetrator. Lest one thinking he was accusing the couple of the nefarious deed, the man appeared to indicate that he had a different suspect in mind. Sasquatch. According to Ginn, he told the two campers that they needed to be careful because they were in Bigfoot country, which, as one can imagine, they found to be a rather weird thing to say.
You are one pathetic loser.
Things only got strange when the man asked them if they had any weapons, presumably to fend off any ferocious Sasquatches that they may encounter.
Shut up.
When they told him they did not, Duran said he flashes his gun at us and was like, I have this, so if anything happens to you, then just yell and I'll come. Following that somewhat unsettling assurance, the couple proceeded to return to their tent and the man went on his way, ostensibly to continue his hunt for Bigfoot. Any hopes that the couple may have had for getting back to sleep were soon shattered when the man started shooting into the woods. In response, Ginn and Duran smartly decided to make a hasty getaway and phone the cops as they hiked the 5 miles back to their car, where they met a park ranger who was dispatched to investigate the matter. Confirming the odd report, a spokesman for Mammoth Cave said the authorities made contact with all the parties involved, but did not say whether or not the man shot a Sasquatch, though we're guessing that he did not. Let's give him an award. Y'all want to kill Bigfoot. Y'all keep trying to shoot them and capture them and all that type of stuff. Why do you think Bigfoot don't want to fuck with you people? Leave the big feetses alone. Leave them alone. Please. And thank you. Okay? You got anything over there?
Somewhere. back to the what they're saying in the chat with the previous story. That I believe that they're saying the quantum radios for communication and stuff, and you could communicate anywhere in the universe. That's what we would be using once we start traveling longer distances, like outside our solar system and through the galaxy and stuff, which is a long ways off. But at least we know we'll be able to communicate with ourselves back here on Earth, if Earth's even still here when we do start exploring that far out, you know. So that's what they would be using it for. I mean, because obviously, I mean, unless there's another alien race somewhere out there in the universe that has a similar quantum radio fucking transmitter receiver that can communicate with ours, it's on our level of frequency and stuff, and we're just playing around one day with our quantum fucking radios, and like, and you get fucking blurp from the fucking planet fucking Pluto.
Who's this? Who's this?
Fucking, this is
You
blurp.
called me. Well, who am I talking to?
Blurp, blurp, fucking, or whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the type of stuff that they would be using it in. It's communication with the fucking Space Force fleet out in the fucking, out and about in the solar system and in the galaxy.
It'll be the best communication ever.
Because even within the solar system, radio transmission, it takes fucking however many minutes, depending on how far the distance you are from the fucking planet and stuff. Like, messages sent back from fucking the moon is, I forget how many minutes it is. It's a few minutes delay before we finally get the radio messages back and stuff. And then there's obviously obstructions, and if there's an obstruction in the way, you can't fucking communicate. So, quantum radio sounds like it would be a good thing for space travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see what we got in the news over here. Well, we're not doing that Bigfoot story, because we just did that. Here's an interesting one. China's own top secret military base discovered using Google Maps. Area 52, maybe? Conspiracy theorists believe they have found the equivalent of China's Area 51 coupled with a black stealth aircraft by using Google Maps. China is apparently using alien technology and storing it at a secret base in a desert in the East Asian nation. The discovery from conspiracy theorists was made using Google Maps, and the base is said to be located near the Mongolian border in the Gansu province. The base, according to the video of the finding is like something out of the movies, and it does look as if some sort of high-tech aircraft is being stored there. According to the video uploaded by prominent space conspiracy theorist Scott C. Warren, the UFO is about 10 meters wide and is jet black. Mr. Warren also claims the sighting screams out top secret project. The base can be found at these coordinates below. Blah, 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 blah. If you want, I'll post it up after this if anybody wants to go and look. Yeah, this is more pareidolia by Mr. Warren, because I've already seen the pictures and shit. Although, I mean, there may be something there, but it's definitely not a fucking UFO. Mr. Warren said alongside the video, I found a military base in China that seems to be the equivalent and copy of Area 51. Yeah, there's definitely like some type of a base there, but like I said, the UFO thing, he's fucking reaching. There is even similar smaller areas, one of which has a black stealth aircraft that could be made from alien technology and be space travel capable. This is amazing and may have been created as the Chinese solution to the American Area 51. Some people agreed with Mr. Warren's analysis. One commenting, "They are hiding something. There is nothing to say for much else." Okay. However, others were not convinced and believed there could be a more reasonable explanation. One YouTuber said that it's likely just a drone launch pad. The real Area 51, located deep in Nevada desert, is at the center of many alien-related conspiracies. It is claimed that alien flying saucers landed there in 1947, blah, blah, blah. We all know that. And it's about to be stormed. Blah, blah, blah. Anything else about China in here? Nope. All back to American Area 51. That's it. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, when you're looking at the pictures, there's definitely some type of a base, whether it's even active or not. It's still how active and stuff, but it's definitely not no secret. I bet you if we Google fucking Chinese military bases that are actually like known and stuff, like it's gonna be there on the map and everything.
No, Scott says it's secret, yo, and he found it. And he
But
found the
definitely when you
UFO.
zoom, I mean, when you zoom in on anything on it, the pictures, they all turn into fucking black fucking UFO looking fucking blobs. So that's just Scott C. Warren reaching again. I mean, obviously China has military bases and shit. Fucking just because you found one on Google Maps, I mean, I bet you I can go and find a bunch more. Fucking Google Maps be like, oh look, Area 53 and 54, 55 and 56.
59.
All right, let's
Area
see.
69.
A lot of UFO news. A lot of UFO news. Actually, I'm going to bring something up here in a minute after I do this story. Cool little visual from a story coming up. Fleet of UFOs invades the skies over Casper, Wyoming. Not only is it the home of the friendliest ghosts, Wyoming, it's also being invaded by UFOs. A fleet of UFOs was seen flying across the skies of Casper, Wyoming, or were they drones launched from a nearby Air Force base? I'm going to say drones from an Air Force base.
It makes sense, but hey, what do we know?
Yeah, you know. UFOs were seen flying over the skies. Last Friday night, the sight prompted immediate thoughts of some sort of alien invasion. Bradley Reyes, who captured the entire episode on his camera phone, didn't know what to make of the phenomena. According to the Express UK, Reyes thought that they might have been drones, but they were completely silent. Well, yeah, fucking drones are pretty goddamn fucking quiet. And they were pretty close to where he filmed the footage. The photographer felt that he should have been able to hear their propellers. They're good drones. Since the sky is cloudy and it is almost dark, the orbs are blurry, but when zoomed in, they can definitely be seen flying in formation. Apparently, one of the viewers of the Only Real UFO YouTube channel recounted a similar experience. My family and me saw the same thing over in Iowa. There were hundreds, but we're flying higher, and they seemed like small specks of light. This is crazy. What is interesting is that he or she doesn't give a date. If their sighting was on July 26, then it could be considered a flap or a mass sighting, not unlike the Phoenix lights in 1997. Bradley noted that the objects were flying in the direction of the airport. Of course, an inquiry was made to Casper County International Airport about the origin of the strange lights. They had no answer, but they did refer the question to the Federal Aviation Administration. This is where things take a bizarre turn. The government actually responded. Alan Ketzner, spokesman for the FAA North Mountain region, couldn't offer up any suggestions as to what the UFOs were. However, he cryptically added that there wasn't anything in the air that was FAA wasn't able to identify. Now, that's a peculiar statement. Sounds like the organization was aware of some sort of activity happening that night, but couldn't or wouldn't confirm or deny that activity. Were the lights a military exercise of some sort? After all, Francis E. Warren Air Force Base is in Cheyenne, Wyoming, which isn't incredibly far away. It's actually really close to Casper. Military drones can make that flight no problem. Would the Air Force actually risk flying a project in the middle of the housing development? Seems unlikely, but then again, the craft that flew over the state of Arizona in 1997, right around the time that the lights were seen on the South Mountain, was seen by 10,000 people who were waiting for a glimpse of the Hale-Bopp comet. After viewing a display of a fleet of drones on an episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not, flying is in unison for an art exhibit, I have to say I am leaning towards the explanation for this sighting being some sort of nighttime military exercise. That's what I would say too, from looking at the footage and everything like that, and knowing everything about the situation.
And they have those
military
swarm
base
drones
that
now.
like
Yeah.
I don't know how many miles, but it's not that far away. Casper, Wyoming, boom. Military drones can fly fucking long distances. So
They have those swarm drones, the smart ones and everything that work together collectively. So that's probably exactly what they were looking at.
Alright, let's see here. You got one there? Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna bring
I'll
up a
jump in.
story over here for a second.
Siberian man successfully sues psychic for failing to magically save his marriage.
You're an idiot.
A heartbroken husband in Siberia successfully sued a group of alleged psychics after their magical powers failed to reunite him with his estranged wife.
Epic fail.
The events which led to the bizarre court case reportedly began back in the summer of 2017 when the unidentified couple unceremoniously split up, much to the forlorn man's chagrin. A few weeks later, he happened to see a television commercial for The Sixth Sense, a company of mystics that claimed to be able to solve all manners of problems by way of magic.
You are one pathetic loser.
What piqued the man's interest was that they specifically promised potential patrons that they could fix broken marriages. Clearly desperate to reignite the love which once flourished between him and his wife, the woebegone husband contacted the company, and they sold him on their ability to use magical and sensory knowledge to make it happen for a mere $4,000.
You suck, you jackass.
Alas, after he forked over the funds, fate poured proverbial salt on the wound, and that was the man's broken heart when his wife did not come home to him. Now doubly disappointed, the man reached out to the company and requested a refund, but his complaint was rebuffed. Rather than cut his losses as the Sixth Sense likely assumed he would, the man actually decided to sue the self-described sorcerers instead. The case was ultimately settled in his favor last week when a court decided that indeed the magicians had failed to live up to their end of the deal, and as such he was awarded around $6,300 for his troubles. Listen, you go to a psychic in the first place, dude. I mean, they had to add on TV, right? I had to make it legit. What are you about to show something?
Yeah, it's not really a story. It's just a cool, interesting little thing here. This is all of the UFO sightings reported since 1910 until currently. And the interesting thing is there's a major uptick in reportings after the X-Files premiered. From that point on, like, it just blows up like crazy. Like, they're very few and far between for the first part. Watch it. It's only a quick little 9 seconds here, and then we'll go back and look at different times. But see? Boom, 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 boom. X-Files. Go back. What was X-Files? 94 or 95, right?
I don't know.
Yep, it must have been right around there, because, see? Very sporadic. I mean, you look at 1960, there's very few. 1952, like almost nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, sorry,
Even in
September 10th,
68.
1993. Right?
Yeah, even in 88, look at. Then we'll go up. 92, that's right before X-Files. 92 still. 94, look at that. Fucking already starting to blow up. Just keeps on blowing up. And obviously, look at the reportings are in heavily densely populated areas. You would think that those would be all out here in the middle of the country, when, you know, UFOs would go. No, let's go where it's fucking everybody can see us. Maybe they want to be seen. I mean, just look at it. At 2000, this shit just blows up. Middle of the country's finally catching up. You know what I mean? So that goes to show. You know, I mean, how much does media and everything show? I look, 2013. I mean, just shit's just blowing up. And it went down in 2014. It only goes up to 2014. So the highest, according to this, was in 2013. Go back. 2013. Look at that. 2013. So we'll look up at what was being reported on, what movies was happening in 2013, and then there's your answer right there.
Or when drones and stuff really became, really
drones
came
and,
hot on
exactly.
the scene,
Drones and stuff
yeah.
started to come in more popular because the 2000s really started to blow up. I mean, drones were starting to come on the scene and everything, and then more and more popular, especially in the last 5-10 years. Things have been really, you know, going crazy with drones, so people are seeing more things. You know, so Because I mean, if that meant just look at that map right there, that we would have actual concrete 100% proof that this undeniable proof that fucking aliens, UFOs existed.
And that's just reported.
That's just the reported ones in the United States. That's just the United States alone. Look at that map. Think about that. And yet there's no evidence. Just a whole bunch of fucking speculation, cherry-picked fucking wild imagination bullshit.
An element 115. I've got element 115. I'm just not going to tell you where it is. You'll never see it. I'll never let it go.
Well, I thought that was really cool, interesting thing.
Huh?
So, all right, let's go bring this regular stuff back up.
All right, I got a story here. I'll jump in. Ghost hunters get locked in cell at haunted police station.
You're an idiot.
In a strange story out of England, a group of ghost hunters needed to be rescued by firefighters after they wound up inexplicably locked in a cell at a purportedly haunted police station.
Epic fail.
According to a local media report, the strange incident took place last weekend during an investigation in the town of Accrington. As the group explored the police station looking for signs of spirit activity, 3 members of the gathering went into a cell at the site and were surprised when, upon trying to exit the space, they found that the door had locked shut. Uh-oh.
You are one pathetic loser.
What made this turn of events particularly puzzling is that the cell doors were purposely left in a locked position when the police station was decommissioned, meaning that it should have been impossible for the door to close in the first place. Making matters even more mysterious, a former police officer on the team explained that each station specific keys for their own respective cells, and nobody in the group had access to the ones at the Accrington site. Unfortunately for the trio who found themselves mysteriously locked in a cell, they had to wait 3 hours for rescue workers to arrive and get them out of the predicament by way of a saw. Although the ghost hunting group conceded that they were flummoxed by what had happened, they seemed to suggest that perhaps the incident could have been the work of a troublemaking ghost, as they detected a considerable amount of paranormal activity that evening. Maybe ghost locked them in? Anything's possible. Hey, we didn't get locked in.
Right. At the end of that one.
Yes, sir.
Russian military zapped by aliens after shooting down a UFO. Declassified CIA report claims. Yeah, then you can tell they definitely used a fucking Photoshop picture for this fucking article. It just looks like a fucking cartoon, dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dragon
it's like a scene out of a fucking cartoon or something, or a video game. Declassified CIA report claims Russian military shot down a UFO before they were attacked and killed by the surviving aliens. The sensational report, which includes claims that 23 soldiers were turned into stone by the aliens in the UFO after they transformed into a ball of light, was buried among thousands of declassified files published online by the U.S. intelligence agency. The report in question, created on March 27, 1993, is a translation by the CIA of a report from the Ukraine newspaper Paranormal
Yet.
Yeah, I don't know how that... Yeah. The newspaper report said that after Mikhail Gorbachev lost power in 1991, many KGB files made their way to the CIA, including all alleged 250-page dossier on bizarre UFO attacks, which included pictures and witness testimony. These definitely, if these are the witness tests, these are the pictures, then yeah. Sorry, I gotta get scroll past these pictures. The report suggests that the low-flying saucer had appeared over a military unit in training in Siberia before one of the soldiers fired a surface-to-air missile, bringing it down. It said 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes got out after being shot with a surface-to-air missile and crashing to the earth. Superman aliens.
Yeah, they survived, yo.
2 soldiers are said to have survived, who described how, after emerging from the debris, the 5 beings emerged into a brilliant white spherical ball of light that buzzed and hissed. It then exploded, and as it did, 23 soldiers who stood watching were turned into stone, the report claimed. Yeah. Sounds fucking totally realistic and plausible. I would believe it. I believe it. You guys believe it? I mean,
Stone soldiers.
Medusa alien light balls. Yeah, totally plausible. 100%.
Anything's possible.
The two survivors had been in a shaded area, it said. Oh, yeah, so the shade protects them. Yeah, the light doesn't fucking go into the shade. It just goes around shade. I don't know. The report said the KGB report goes on to say that the remains of the petrified soldiers were transferred to the Secret Research Institute near Moscow. Specialists assume that a source of energy still unknown to Earthlings instantly changed the structure of the soldiers' living organisms, having transformed it into a substance whose molecular structure was no different to limestone. All right, so these aliens merge into a ball of light and explodes. What happened to the aliens after that is question number one. And only the soldiers turn into stone? All the trees, everything else around, whatever's around, anything else around that was in the shadows and stuff, that was all cool, and the trees, everything else, whatever, none of it turned to stone? Just the people?
Because they saw him.
So they had this superpower fucking stuff that just magically, this ball of light just encompasses everything around, but only turns the fucking humans that saw him to stone. Doesn't fucking turn the birds to stone. It doesn't turn the squirrels to stone. Fucking anything. The trees. These are aliens. How do they know these aren't talking trees? They don't fucking know. They're aliens. They're just like, hey, look, fucking Earth. Let's fucking...
Especially if they saw Lord of the Rings.
Actually, they didn't even say, hey, look, Earth. They said, hey, look, there's a planet. Let's fucking go down there and check it out. And they're flying along like, oh, wow, look at this place, huh? Wonder what the fuck's going on here. Oh, shit! Fuck! They crashed like, shit, we gotta defend ourselves now. Oh, we're only gonna turn these things to stone. Everything else is cool. I mean, really? Really? And the funny thing is, this is a CIA report that they took from a newspaper over there. Yeah, so I'm totally gonna believe that one.
Yeah.
It's a translated CIA report of a newspaper reporting from over there in 1993. It's not of a fucking KGB file translated. It's a translation from a newspaper. Seems plausible. Right? Might be.
From the Inquirer.
Inquiring minds want to know.
All right, so let's see. Specialists assume that the molecular structure no different than limestone. I'm trying to find out where I was. All right. A CIA representative stated, if the KGB file corresponds to reality, this is an extremely menacing case. The aliens possess such weapons and technology that go beyond all our assumptions. I mean, fuck yeah. They fucking ball of light just fucking randomly fucking that covers everything, just randomly turns things to stone. That's some fucking pretty fucking scary technology. Don't want anybody on Earth to get their hands on that shit. Just the CIA. It's not explained in the document why the CIA held a translation of the Ukrainian newspaper report on file. However, the translated newspaper report contained in the declassified CIA file said the source of the information had come from the Canadian weekly World News, which was known at the time for publishing outlandish and fictional news headlines. There we go, people. It's right there. It's the own story. It just fucking debunks itself.
The fucking Canadian Inquirer, pretty much. What the fuck?
Cool K's favorite magazine, huh, Cool K?
She's like, I still get that shit. I got a subscription.
She's like, I've been getting it so long, they just send it to me for free now. They're like, you're our longest subscriber. According to the UFO website and YouTube channel Lion's Ground, you have to be careful about what the CIA publishes online, as it could be misinformation. Yeah, of course. What's up, Steve?
Steven.
All right, I think I had one more. Yep. One more. We'll take a quick little break. Area 51 engineer breaks his silence, and it's not Bob Lazar.
It's not Bobby?
There is an extraterrestrial race working with us. For a long time, Area 51 has been focus of different conspiracy theories, especially because it is highly secret and hidden so that only people with official access can reach it. However, recently, one of the biggest scandals involving this place came to light, especially because it was an engineer who worked in Area 51 that provided classified information.
You're an idiot.
Who is this mystery man? And although it seems incredible, many experts in the field agree that the information has all the veracity. What happened in Area 51? Testimony that directly involved this place have been consistently revealed by people who had access, as the fact that in this place works with amazing technology to discover all kinds of mysteries in the universe that have to do mainly with aliens. You get an alien, and you get an alien. Everybody gets an alien.
Everybody gets an Area 51.
According to that fucking map, everybody's seen an alien.
Mm-hmm.
Shit is fucking crazy. It is something that obviously has resulted in endless conspiracy theories. In addition, it also has blah, 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 blah. Get it to the fucking shit. Basically, this is where all kinds of information come from. It's what we call the crown jewel of the conspiracy cases of the last 3 decades. And if we talk about Area 51, we'll talk about some secret or top secret government case that year after year dissipates like a dropper. A former engineer from Area 51, however, recently it was discovered in a video of an engineer who worked in Area 51 called Bill Uhouse.
Cause he's a U-house.
Where was it? Because I had to go to the next page. In which he states that he received the help of an alien to know how to handle a flying saucer. It is something that bristles the skin to anyone that probably is the most amazing revelation that has ever been discovered in these years. I mean, fuck, I got goosebumps. What about you guys? I mean, fuck, an alien helped this guy learn how to fly a UFO?
Okay.
God damn, that is the most amazing shit I ever heard of before in my life. Fuck, where's the goddamn proof and evidence of this shit?
I believe I can touch the sky.
The engineer left this world in 2009, sadly, but not before revealing details as juicy as the name of the supposed engineer's assistant, J-Rod. The alien's name was J-Rod.
His name was too hard to say, so they had to shorten it.
He touched him with a hard rod, and he all of a sudden had the knowledge to fucking navigate a UFO.
Touch this rod, and you will know everything.
Yes,
all the
yes,
information
J-Rod.
of the universe. Just touch it. Just the tip.
All right, this is a representation made by Ohouse himself of his co-worker. Oh, yeah, look at that guy.
Yo, he looks cool as fuck, though.
Yeah,
he got the
dude,
shirt
look
and
at
everything.
him.
He's chilling. He look
Chilling.
all
He's got a
smart
shirt
and
on.
shit.
You look, he got his nails did and everything.
saying,
They're all
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Those nails don't look like he doesn't want to fucking kill something, right?
No, not at all.
The truth is that all the names that might sound alien, sincerely, this is the one that least sounds like an extraterrestrial. Of course, because obviously this dude gave him that name. Alien didn't come to, yeah, hi, I'm J-Rod.
Ain't calling me J-Rod.
Just like fucking goddamn fucking Billy Carson saying that fucking these alien fucking Anunnaki gods came down here. And then we gave them their names.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, that's cool. We're going to roll with that.
Yeah, we'll take
We'll
that.
go with that. We'll just
Yeah.
write that down and we're going to be that. We're going to be Ra. We're going to be fucking all these people that you guys are calling us.
Because normally when people are given names, they're usually slaves and shit. They usually don't
Yeah,
have a
it's usually
choice
the
in
other way
matter.
around.
Yeah.
It's usually the aliens, fucking slave gods, will be like, yeah, your name is Bob now. You Steve. You Peter. You're fucking Paul. That's how this shit's going down.
There's black people with the last name White.
You know, not these fucking alien gods arriving and the people on the fucking on the planet are like, oh shit, wow, what's up, dude? Yo, Ra, fucking
Raw.
whatever the fuck you want to fucking. Hey, Tooth, what's up, Tooth? I mean, if I was an alien god, I'd be like, yo, dude, shut the fuck up, because that's not my name, all right? Let's
Yeah.
get some shit straight right now.
Stop making up shit, man.
Your name's Fuckhead from now on, okay?
Piece of shit.
I mean, seriously. Like, that's... I can't. That's it. I'm done. I'm going home.
You know,
And fucking people believe this shit. They're like, oh yeah, that's the way it happened. That's the way it went down. I totally believe that shit, man. Yeah. It says it in his book.
And they always come up with the easiest names, Gonzalez. And what was the other dude's name that he used? Wait, Gonzalez. And what the fuck was the other dude's name that Corey Good used? They used these crazy ass names and shit. Oh, not Scott. It was somebody. What was it? Bones. I think it was Bones and shit. Yeah, because no one else ever watched Star Trek. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor. Anyways, is there more to it?
Yeah, there's more to this.
But wait, there's
Among
more.
the secrets that O-House allegedly revealed, we can highlight the following. The existence of massive underground systems with experimental laboratories and reverse engineering workshops. Several races of humanoids working side by side with our engineers. The revelation of hybrid race of Nordic extraterrestrials, of which we already echoed on some occasion in our blogs. And hybrids of human reptoids developed by these underground laboratories. Interesting, right? Well, here is not the thing. Because one of the last things that revealed the ill-fated O-House was the treaty signed by the same Eisenhower to start an exchange friendly with the extraterrestrials between technologies. Which brings us to the following question. What can we offer to them in this exchange? Human technology? No, of course. Incredible secrets? Most likely for the rest of our lives, people who already know of the existence of extraterrestrials or that their UFOs are completely real and continue to hide it indefinitely will continue in their 13th. And it is something very disturbing. What the fuck?
The aliens wrote it, duh.
They must have. What they win or are plotting to want to hide this kind of discovery from the rest of humanity. Why? Okay, yeah, somebody, I don't know who wrote this, but then that's the end of that. So, yeah, Another fucking fairy tale story from a fucking dying man. And all I've got is this picture. This is J-Rod. Yeah, that's why we call him J-Rod, okay? I mean, he's got a big rod. You just, all right, everybody, just don't look at, this is the important stuff. Look at how big these eyes are in his head.
And they were
I know he's got a big rod. Everybody, just stop looking at his rod. Just look at look at these nails. He got them painted all the time and stuff. Judy down in HR, she would do his nails for him and stuff.
Did they have an
She
A-Rod,
loved J-Rod.
They had an A-Rod. He used to play baseball with his. It's good.
Oh, what's good, Littles?
Littles, what's up?
And that's it for the fucking news this week.
That's it. It's over.
I hate you all so much.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're not going to be gone long. Play a couple songs. And once you hear that theme song come in, you know it's time to get back to the show. Maybe I'll just play the whole theme song mixes. Y'all just want to hear theme song mixes? The old theme song. But don't go too far. It's Paranormal Hood. We'll be back, folks. All right? And I mean don't go too far. I better see that same number when we come back. Ain't no reason for y'all to leave. I'm going to jump in the chat, though, in between, okay? All right. Now, give me a second to find something to play for you, motherfuckers.
Yo, this is a higher dimension, they better get with it. I turn all them circles to helixes. I turn all them ashes to phoenixes. Lay waste to the factors who pack in compassion, cause without the action it's meaningless. Fuck it, I'm back on my feet again. Half of the battle was having compassion and passion and knowing the frequency. But recently, I'm frequently feeling the fire that set fire to deities. Reset your memory, then we wet the fire that burn and circle your block with my chemistry. Watch how the infinite breathe, this how the infinite be. Off in that infinite sea, infinitely. Trading through waters too deep for these keys to believe that it's God that they see. Spirit combined with the thought, raising the heart to the eye through the spine. Mixed with this art, hyperdimensional. Soon as I enter you, emulate all of my mind. Eradicate time, quoting the planes that make everything I. Everything live, everything die. Everything's everything, quarrel and spine. Tethering mind, crystallize I. Imploding the God that you thought was divine. Jesus alive, Jesus Allah. Allah's the moon, moon is the sin. There is no sinning and you are no sinner. And there is no death if you only remember. Astrotheology, mapping what happened in time from the stars. Ripping the heart from the archons. Balancing animals. Gotta be part of the way I dismantle the truth. Counter the lies. Reverse the inverted mind. Insert my power, I'm outside the hour of time. Access it all like a life that was trapped in the mind. Easing the climb. So the ascension is something you witness through all of the victims and all of the prisons and all of the wisdom that's outside the system. All that I'm giving, I give it. You better get with it, cause this is a higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. They better get with it. I turn all them circles to helixes. I turn all them ashes to phoenixes. Cause this is a higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. They better get with it. I turn all them circles to helixes. Yeah, I turn all them ashes to phoenixes. Cause this is a higher dimension.
This is a higher dimension, powered by self-comprehension. Climbing up out of this prison, I am so out of this prism. There's no confining my mental, I feel like gathering time. Wrapping it up in this rhyme, freeing up everything binding. You see what the rhyme do, casting the bliss like a spell from a witch. Do you look in the mirror and realize that I am you? We are supreme in the valley of giants and tyrants and lions and sirens and Nephilim. So why would you question them? You can apply all the pressure you want it. You just gon' make diamonds and shine for the rest of them. Fire and light, water and ice, full spectrum when we on the mic. Sending you infinite energy, synchronized synergy. So you see the inner me, so you see it visibly. I show you the secrets and point to the enemy. I feel like gathering truth, spilling it all in this booth. Breaking up out of this noose, bringing you up on this paradigm. The shit that we spit at you, therapy, rejuvenation, reversal of time. Raising you up through the spine, organs aligned, controlling the planets combined. With knowing that we are divine, causing implosion without the division. Reprogramming minds that lost high in the system. All that we give it, you better get with it. Cause this is a higher dimension.
This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. They better get with it. I turn all them circles to helixes. I turn all them ashes to phoenixes. Cause this is a higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. Higher dimension. Yeah, higher dimension. This is a higher dimension. They better get with it. I turn all them circles to helixes. I turn all them ashes to phoenixes. Cause this is a higher dimension.
Creep with me as I crawl through the hood.
Paranormal hood. Paranormal. 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 Paranormal.
Creep with me.
Paranormal.
Creep with me. Creep with me.
Paranormal.
Creep with me. Creep with me.
Paranormal.
Creep with me. Creep with me. Creep with me.
Welcome!
Paranormal hood.
Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this?
Paranormal hood.
Who the fuck is this? love.
Freak with me as I walk in the hood.
We are the paranormal voice of the hood.
Freak with me as I walk in the hood.
Jiggy and the hoodie.
Freak with me as I walk in the hood. You're listening to Paranormal Hood Live Radio with the sound of DJ Ron Land. Paranormal Hood.
This is Paranormal Hood. Jiggy and the hoodie. Ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Freak with me as I crawl through the hood. Paranormal, baby. Is how we doing it, Paranormal Hood.
Paranormal Hood.
Paranormal Hood.
Keeping it on lockdown. All world is in the building.
Welcome to my hood. Where ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Where everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. If you're scared of dying, we got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. If you really try to ride, step into the buckle up. I'ma show you where it's at. We gon' burn a couple blunts, we gon' pop a couple caps. I ain't talking about 4-5s from the strap. Psilocybin driving, so we headed off the map. What you know about? Tasting color, seeing sound with a crystal eye. Turning nothing into something when we alchemize. Vandalize the lies with the truth. Ain't nobody wanna take shots to this proof. All we ever wanted was the answers. Looking for unique, but our vision keep us phantom. Phantom black man, ghost writing in a pentagram. I'm from the place where our thoughts meet the program. Not too many open to the power that they hold. Just know that when we shine, it's the reflection of your soul. Supreme beings moving, watch the galaxy implode. We are not alone. If you're not normal, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. Where ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Where everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. If you're scared of dying, we got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. If you really try to rise, step into the I gotta hold on to this feeling. I'll be seeing visions through the folds of the prism. Projecting all wishes, anything I want is given. Paranormal vision, you can call it supervision. Control the superstition, make them wonder how we do it. They seen us in the mud, now we out here making music with the paranormal movement that's stronger than what you deal with. If Jesus was just a fraud, then hallelujah for Judas. Caesar is not the mob, so it just had to be Brutus. They hate when we on our job, cause persecution is useless. Proof that what we doing is more than just making music. Utilizing the truth, drop it off in the hood. Show 'em what's really good, the feeling is understood. We don't just what it means to get it by all means. Supreme beings moving, watch reality explode. We are not alone, if you're not normal, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. Where ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Where everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. If you're scared of dying, we got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. If you really try to rise, step into the portal.
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
20,000 police in the whole town. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Smoke weed every day.
From Boston to outer space, we're gonna take you all over the place. So sit back and enjoy the ride, because this is Paranormal Hood Live.
All right. You're gonna learn today.
That's right, folks. Are you sitting down? Are you in the dark? Are you alone? Are you scared? Do you need someone to talk to? Someone to take that fear away? I can assure you that you did not come to the right place. For we are here to put that fear back into you. You should be afraid. You should be very, very afraid. All right. Get the crazy train going. All aboard! Choo choo! What's Hood Hoodies? Welcome back. It's Paranormal Hood Live. We're live and direct in the Garden of Knowledge Studios, and we are here to scare the shit out of you. I am your host, Jiggy.
I am Smoke King.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? You're eating a popsicle. You ain't smoking. We're back.
I'm the Popsicle King right now.
He's the Popsicle King. The king of popsicles.
In a minute, I'll be Smoke King.
Yeah. So, yeah, first you go popsicles, and you be Smoke, and then you could be Paranormal Hood King, Smoke King, and all that stuff. What's good? Welcome to everybody in the chat. I saw some new people. I know the names scroll by so quick I didn't get to see you, but hello. What's up, Littles? Davey, Cool K, everybody up in this piece. We're going to get this popping. Let's see who else is in there. Out of Minds is still there. Beam me up, Mr. Scott. There you go. Now, I don't want to mess up your name. Ranieri Zeppelini? I hope I am saying it right. If not, please, no disrespect. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for being in the chat, too. So peace and love to you. Welcome. And cheers, wherever you're from. All right? Just want to say hi to folks. Cool K, you know, we got nothing but love for you. She's been with us since day one. She's just one of us. She knows everything. She remembers more shit than I do. I bet you I could ask her a question. She's like, "Now, Jiggy, this is what happened." So she's like a Paranormal Hood dictionary, maybe you could say, like an encyclopedia, the Wikipedia of Paranormal Hood. It's always good to have somebody like that around. She remembers shit. I don't fucking remember what was going on, what was happening. But yes, we're back tonight. Energy, spirit, the soul, all those different things. Hold on. I wanted to bring up the dictionary meaning of the word spirit. And I'll just say, I'll preface it that just having a lot of conversations lately with people, and some people DM me and just ask me questions and stuff about a thought about that, just to have a topic that they thought we could kind of elaborate on too. So feel free to, in the chat and stuff, share your feelings and stuff on what we're going to be talking about tonight, because I think it's very important. Because different people have different ideas of this stuff. And we've even kicked it before about the idea of like the soul, the spirit, how these things are connected, what they possibly are. I don't know if we came up with a definitive answer that would have necessarily helped everybody else, but maybe worked for us.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. What's up, big sis? All right. So the spirit, the non-physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. It says we seek a harmony between body and spirit. Synonym, soul, psyche, inner self, inner being, essential being. Number 2, those qualities regarded as forming the definitive or typical elements in the character of a person, nation, or group, are in the thought and attitudes of a particular period. Example, the university is a symbol of the nation's, I don't know what the fuck, egalitarian spirit? You ever heard of egalitarian? Just one of those words I've never used, never seen before. Sorry. Cinnamon ethos, prevailing tendencies, motivating force, animating principle, dominating characteristics. Number 3, as a verb, it conveys rapidly and secretly. Stolen cows were spirited away. So, like, something being spirited away. So those are the definitions of it. And just kind of how it relates to us, individuals, people. I'm sorry, my Fonzie, what artist was the last song? Are you talking about the Paranormal Hood one? I don't know if you're talking, because the very, very last song I played, Are you talking about?
Theme song? Paranormal Hood.
Welcome to my hood.
Is that what you're talking about?
Ain't nothing normal.
Because that's what you're referring to. That's our theme song. But that's Supremes of the Ohio Valley, SOTOV. And it's available on all platforms. But the music I played before, any music I played other than the theme songs were them. But that actual theme song, you heard the last song, is that what I just played is it's called Paranormal Hood by Supremes of the Ohio Valley, or SOTOV. Cool. So, hope that's what you're talking about. And welcome, Mike Fonzie. All right, now where was I? Talking about the spirit. But yeah, I said I've been having conversations with people about it. And it's funny, too, doing that news story earlier on quantum entanglement. And when Hakeem Olusei had joined us, we had talked about that, like the possibility, too, about, quantum entanglement, how people could possibly all be entangled and that we're all kind of connected. And there's a possibility that our spirits, our souls may be all connected in somehow, that we just maybe particular people you have that connection to, whatever. I know people love to talk about twin flames and different things that make reference to those type of things, like how a spirit or soul could be entangled or attached or have gone through eternity together. They always find each other in each life, in each reincarnation or incarnation of your individual self. You still tend to gravitate towards certain people and certain spirits, and it gets played up. I personally, what up, Mr. Big Mike, the Yankees fan? Sorry. I just gotta tell y'all real quick, because I'm a Red Sox fan. That's my man. Just my man's in them up in the room. And for his birthday the other day, I took him to the Red Sox Yankees game, and we were on the Green Monster, and he just got to watch home runs go fly over that were hit by the Red Sox, of course. So, but thank you for joining us, sir. But yeah, so you hear a lot of that verbiage, like people talk about that twin flames, connections, and stuff, and it plays a lot into the paranormal aspect of how are people connected? Is there really such a thing as a twin flame? Is there really such a thing as spirits that are connected? I do believe that we all have an individual spirit, that we all have, the soul. I don't know if it's the same thing. I feel like more the soul is something that we're kind of, it comes into this shell, whatever, at some point. I don't know if it's when you're conceived, whatever. At some point, the soul enters these fucking physical things. But I think that the spirit is more something that is the magic behind that kind of comes with the shell. Like the magic that you kind of work throughout your life that kind of empowers you. It makes you stronger. It makes you smarter. It makes you more in tune to the earth. It makes you more in tune to other people. I think it makes you more in tune. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about candles and reading books and stuff. I'm talking about more of a natural magic that I think that everybody has. That I think that we are all born with. And some people kind of hone it a little bit more than others. I don't think anybody lacks. Some people say, well, killers, and some people lack souls and all that type of stuff. I don't know if that's true. I think they probably have a soul. Their soul just may be at war with itself or whatever. It's just, again, we're going to be talking about different things. So these are just my personal beliefs about some of this stuff. So just so you know, I'm not speaking for him. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I am speaking for Jiggy and how Jiggy sees this stuff. Oh, absolutely, beat me up, Mr. Scott. That's the thing. Like everything now, like people take this stuff and they run with it and they make it seem like it's something that is, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, like attainable, like achievable. Like if you could have that twin flame, but you've got to follow this certain protocol or certain way to go about finding that twin flame, and you guys got to be in sync. And of course, it has a lot to do with the new age woo, which is being pushed, and how you can go about that. And I hear many people, and I'm not going to say any names, a lot of people we talk about who love to say those things about the twin flames and stuff. And I guess, I just, sounds good. A great chat about deja vu the Dayon channel kind of got onto the travel, but was based on future self, warning, or giving guidings on fated life. That's an interesting concept, though. I mean, is that what ghosts are and stuff like that? Like just us, not even necessarily our future self, but imprints of our past selves and things that we've done and stuff. And maybe at a point in your life where you were just so strong, your energy, your spirit, whatever, was so strong at that point. You were so passionate about something, whether it be your significant other, your home, your work, your life, your pet, your children, your grandchildren, a painting, valuables you may have had in your home or something like that, or a particular place, a job that you really just love, that maybe those things are just imprints that occasionally just show up, that they're just kind of there, that's just how it works. The same thing with deja vu, is that things that are there that will always be there, and they just, every now and then you have those deja vus. Because I have them, and most people speak about having them, but that's a great concept, Davey, though. What's up, Michael Adams? Yeah, so that's the thing. It's a very, very deep conversation, and when people approach it and they talk about it, because that's, I mean, like the words that get thrown around, and I just think it's more than just a twin flame or anything that's, it's not simple. I know that. I just know that
Well, my favorite thing, I love people now, because everybody's got to put quantum in it. Now it's quantum entangled souls. They're no longer twin flames. This is the new age, millennial fucking speak. Quantum entangled souls. Not twin flames anymore.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Well, I'm the quantum sex master, so, I mean, you know, I can understand what they're talking about. On a quantum level, of course, because I'm the quantum sex master. I think the same thing related to imprinted memory or genetic memory in nature, birds flying out the nest, and so on. Yeah, I think some things just kind of stay here. I don't know that it's necessarily something haunting or whatever. It just could be a point in someone's life where they just had so much energy built up, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whatever, that's what's kind of left behind. Occasionally it kind of reeks its head. But I also think that a lot of people's personal, you can't create a personal haunting. You can't create a personal experience that you have with a spirit or a ghost or anything. I don't think you could ever recreate that. I think those things are meant to happen for people that maybe, again, some things kind of get left behind, but maybe on the other side, people are able to contact you, particularly your relatives, whatever they want to. But doesn't mean that same ghost is going to want to talk to some random fucking paranormal investigator or anybody else. They just may have wanted to contact you somehow. If you believe in the multiverse, then the passing on of energy in certain instances will create deja vu. Well, absolutely. And just not to mention the fact that if you're existing in multiverses, at some point is that veil thin enough to get that echo, to get those glimpses and stuff into the other reality and see things, and maybe it's interpreted as a ghost or as an alien, as anything. You know, that could be exactly what that is. You see videos all the time online that I don't know if they're real or fake, but all of a sudden someone will be driving down the street and they'll have a camera in their car, and you'll see a car come out of nowhere and cause an accident or cut in front of them, or a person come out of nowhere and stuff. Now, is it just a trick of the camera because the camera itself lost time for a second, whatever, and didn't record it? The angle, the different variables, I'm not an expert on that, so I don't know. But from watching those videos, which do exist, and you can see them online, there's the possibility of those multiverses. If that veil becomes this thin enough just at that time, that car in the universe, which looks just like a car in ours, may have the same lights and everything, may just be a little bit off. But then if that shit happens too, what happens to those folks? Do they get stuck here? Do they get to go home? This quantum probably should be... Davey, coincidentally enough, I don't know if you've heard me speak on this before, but since everything that happened with brain surgery and aneurysm and dying and all that shit come back, my sisters were the first people to say to me that I was not the same person that I was before that. And the idea that I was me from someplace else, which is probably very similar, but just maybe a universe where things are just a little bit different, because there's things in my memory that don't add up. And I've been talking about this for years, of people who, a best friend who I don't remember, who passed away. I don't remember anything about this kid. I have not one visual of him. I remember his name, I remember his brother, everything, but I don't remember having any contact with this kid whatsoever. So, is it the idea that I was young, and maybe it was traumatic to me, and somehow I just wiped it out of my memory? Or the fact that maybe I'm from someplace else, and somehow they've called me a walk-in? Which I'm sure you've probably heard that terminology too before, Davey, if people have talked to you about that. Which I don't like the idea of walk-in, because it sounds intrusive, but maybe that death isn't what we think it is, and that maybe in an instance I died and just I died and came here, and maybe whoever was here died and went there somehow or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's how death works. I have no fucking clue. Because I still swear I'm dead. And I hate to tell any of y'all who think this ever heard me say this before. I think all y'all are a figment of my imagination. Or that I'm still in a coma in the hospital and shit and just going through the motions. And that this is just my brain working all this shit out.
Wake up, Jiggy.
Hasn't worked yet. So we need a collective wake up or something. Maybe I need to get everyone to say it or something at the same time. I think my sister was in the chat earlier too. So if she is, she can more than happy to attest to this. She calls me a supercomputer. She says I talk differently. I talk faster. And that she doesn't understand me when I talk sometimes. Yeah, it's weird, Davey. I don't know how to explain it. Again, that's like when it comes all the paranormal, because people think like we've abandoned the paranormal. Like it's not that we're against anything. We're skeptical of stupid shit. But everybody pretty much who's into the paranormal have personal experience that led them here to the fact that we even having these type of conversations, podcasts, videos, and stuff being done. So how do you prove that? We're possibly us from another place, and whatever trauma happened to us at that point released us from there and brought us here or whatever. I don't know. Unplugged from the Matrix. Yeah, well, I don't know how to unplug from the Matrix. Morpheus hasn't showed up and given me the pills yet.
What the fuck you talking about? I've been here the whole goddamn time.
I'm still in the Matrix. So are you.
No, I'm not.
You're sitting in the Matrix with me. You're in here. We don't eat the steak. We don't care about the steak, but...
Not part of this Matrix.
Maybe it's another dimension of you. Maybe. I don't know, but yeah, maybe my brain just whatever I went through opened up another part of me or whatever. Like people, and they asked me too, like, do I feel like I gained any kind of?
How old were you?
I was 36. Right? Yeah, 36. It's 2006, so I was 36. But hold on, what was it? I just forgot what I was saying. You asked me a question. Can you imagine me with more money? Shit, I'd like to imagine everybody with more money. I'll work on that, on the side if that's what it is. All right, me, give him more money. Make it, but you got to share it though. You got to hook brother up, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's got to trickle down. I forgot where the fuck I was at. Give my brain a second. BS, brain surgery. It'll catch up in a second. I had a similar experience as a kid. OD'd, ass projected, looking down, came back. Different also. But with, like, there was noticeable differences, like your family and stuff noticed too, though. I was 29 when I realized the brain had blocked 16 years ago. Yeah, I mean, the brain works in strange ways too. And trauma and stuff can do things to the brains. So that's why I said I don't know that I attribute it to me being from someplace else. It's more so just different things that could have happened from just the way I came back. This is just me. I'm just different.
Well, yours, I don't know Davy's whole thing, so yours is a little bit easier, possibly, to explain. You went through the dramatic brain injury.
We got it. Which one of us did? No.
That, but you also were at, depending on exactly, even still, even if you were already fucking 36 and everything like that or whatever, 36, 35. Our bodies go through physical and mental fucking changes every 7 years. 7-year cycle. Like, it changes every 7 years. Like, when I was younger, until I was like 14, I could walk through fields of poison ivy all day long. But right around 14 or 15, all of a sudden I could get poison ivy. Then one day, after I turned 21, I don't remember, I was like 21, 22, I had to do something, there was poison ivy, I was just like, fuck it, I've had it before, whatever. But I didn't get it again. But there's all kinds of things like that. Your body, if you look it up and stuff, your body and your brain and stuff, you go through changes every 7 years. And now you go through that, you have this brain injury and everything. Well, your body's going through that, its normal cycle of changes and everything like that, of growth and stuff like that. that's going to be a big change in your life. You're going to seem like a completely total different person to everybody, no matter what. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, things are going to be off and stuff because the way your brain worked, you may talk a little bit faster now, the way it had to rewire itself and everything as it was healing and stuff like that, and different things were going on and stuff like that. So those cases, a lot of that is how that stuff can be explained and everything. Now it seems totally fucking weird because you're like, oh yeah, I was like this before, and now all of a sudden I'm like completely like, you know, I have all these differences and people noticing and everything like that. So yeah, it's gonna seem weird out of this world and stuff like that. But again, the way the brain heals and what happens with the brain when it goes through fucking things like that and it comes back to where you are here and before us and everything like that is fucking amazing. And for there to be little hiccups inside, some of them, the side effects may be good. Maybe talking faster may be a good thing now and stuff, you know what I mean? Maybe your brain's thinking a little bit faster now too, so you try to get that stuff out and everything, you know what I mean? It's not always downsides to brain injuries. We found out with a lot of cases and stuff like that. People are like, oh, wow, this guy's going to be a vegetable for the rest of their life, and they come back and they're fucking super geniuses and shit like that. Because the way that their brain healed and
I'm a super genius.
You know, the scar tissues and everything of healing and stuff, it connected areas of the brain and stuff. So now all of a sudden this person's fucking, they might still, you know, have an arm that doesn't work quite good or something like this. Something, you know, there's still maybe some people are still perfectly fine afterwards or whatever. So that, and then how the human emotion and the human brain deals with situations, and they need to come up with a reason why did this happen and how does this explain all this stuff and everything like that. And a lot more often times than not we end up with paranormal reasons, but then there could be some paranormal shit tied to it too, you know what I mean, because the way you die and everything. But we know there's a lot of chemicals involved in that. A lot of chemicals. I got a jar full of that chemical right here.
The DMT.
So,
quantum super sex genius. No, I'm just a quantum sex master. That's your title out of mine? You're the quantum super sex genius. And Davey said it makes sense he can't do relationships for more than 7 years. So. I don't know, but one of the things, that's what it was, that people had asked me too, is like, did I feel like I gained any kind of like a kind of power, I guess, psychic ability, whatever. And I say, no, if anything more, Davey, you kind of said it too, that the world was like really foggy for a while, and I saw people differently, and I still see people differently. I was able to lift the fog. The fog doesn't really come around anymore. I was able to get rid of the fog, but I just kind of see people and perceive people a little bit different. From 30 years ago to today, maybe to the brain differential of some people because of evolution and genetic makeup. Yeah, I mean, I'm 49, so I've been through a few of those 7-year cycles, apparently.
Yeah, there's more than just the 7-year cycles, but the 7-year cycles are really noticeable one and stuff. Like, you can notice, like, a lot of changes around that time. And it's not exactly at 7, you know what I mean? Exactly at those, you know what I mean? It's around that time. It's about every 7 years your body's going through these certain, like, changes, whatever they are. It's different for everybody else. Everybody goes through this. Like I said, I could play in Poison Ivy when I was a kid, and when I was a teenager I couldn't, and now as an adult I can touch it again. Although I haven't touched it for a while, so I might not be able to touch it again. Who knows? But that's Poison Ivy. That's one way how I figured that out and stuff, because I was like, how the fuck does this happen? So I asked the doctor and stuff, and then they explained that your body, you know, goes through these changes. That's why some people could be allergic to peanut butter, and then all of a sudden they're not anymore. You know, different things like that. People, a lot of times growth spurts happen in that. And even as you're older and stuff, because your body continues to grow. It never stops. It just slows down at how fast it grows and stuff. Between the ages of, from the time you're born until you're 2.5, 3 years old, you grow the fastest. And then after that, it slows down. It cuts that growth rate, cuts in half until you're 6. And then it keeps going down like that. Around 6, 7, it slows down. And then it really slows down at 14. And then you go through one more, you know. That's usually your last growth spurt is, you know, around in your teenagers, really big growth spurt, you know. Then you grow a little bit more, and then it's very slowly. But, and then even though you continue to grow, people will shrink and stuff like that. Because in between your joints and stuff, all start your ligaments and all the discs and stuff in your back, all that compresses, everything like that, and you hunching over and stuff, and everything starts to go back. You start to lose some of that bone mass, even though some of you're still growing.
Stem cells.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit going on in the body and the mind.
Beam me up, Mr. Scott. Yeah, you talk about that thing that was on Facebook, I believe, the Laurel and Yanny, and asking people what they heard. I don't even take with those little fucking tests. I don't trust it for whatever reason. So, but and then they had the ones like people what they saw with addressed like colors and different things, and every now and then they come up with those weird tests. What you see or what you hear is in contrast to what other people see and hear. But it tells you, it determines someone's brain waves, and they can tell you what they hear. Yeah, I'm sure I'm losing some height too. I don't feel like I'm as tall as I used to be. But I know, like, it's weird because, yeah, whatever. One leg's probably a little bit shorter than the other now, anyways. It's just part of life. It happens. But, Davey, yeah, perception about that. I don't know. I want to talk to you one day about that, though, about the fog. Like, we'll just maybe talk off air a little bit about the fog. Because, like I said, it took me a little bit of time because I didn't understand that. And I had asked the doctors and stuff about it. And I was asking if it was attributed to something that maybe had to do with, having a craniotomy and all that type of shit and everything. That maybe, because this eye was closed and asymmetrical looking at this eye anyways. So I thought it was the fact that maybe because my eyes had leveled out and went back to their normal positioning that it was a possibility that was part of it. He said he couldn't, the way I was explaining it, he said he hadn't really heard anybody say it like that, or it could have been, but they didn't say it was or wasn't related to the fact of the brain surgery, because everything else about me a month after getting out of the hospital, because I was in the hospital, I don't remember, a month and a half or some shit, however fucking long I was in there. But when I got out and I went back for my first checkup was like about a month later, and the doctor looked at me. He couldn't, believe that I walked into the hospital and stuff. I wasn't in a wheelchair or on like a cane or crutches, and that my eye and everything had healed and was fine. So that's why he said he couldn't understand and why if I had any vision problems, it wasn't anything that they could see. It wasn't anything that was apparent. Yeah, I hear you, super fun cat. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm on Facebook, but I use it for whatever. But they have all those tests and all those different things. Like you could test to see what kind of fucking Avenger you would be, or a Hobbit, or stupid shit and everything. I'm good with that. And then every now and then I get these fucking messages from Facebook and shit like, oh, one of your friends was hacked and your information may have been compromised. Stop fucking taking those tests, you fuckers. And why are you motherfuckers all friends with scrippers and shit? I'm tired of hoes showing up on my motherfucking time. I don't know them hoes. Shit. Who the fuck is friends with every fucking trick in the fucking planet? God damn you all. Sorry. Facebook rant. You're not even on Facebook. So you don't even have to care about the rant. You're like, what are you ranting about? I don't know. I think it's hard as a human being, period, Davey. I think that anytime your brain goes through something traumatic, anything traumatic in life, it's hard. It's an adjustment. The thing with your brain is that it's just, you don't know. They can't tell you. Like, they're telling you all these variables of things, bad things. And then there's the in-between. There's like, oh, and this can happen, and this could possibly happen and stuff. So it's like, oh, okay, there's kind of a silver lining there. So it's just one of those things. You just have to let it play out. And not everybody does well with it. I have a nephew right now who recently had an aneurysm. He plays football and got hit playing. He plays semi-pro football, got hit, and his aneurysm burst and stuff. So he's on the other side of it and stuff. And I'm trying to help him. And I try to explain to him that most people who have never been through that just don't understand. They want to be helpful, but it's just nothing that anybody can really do. You just kind of have to let your brain play out and heal itself at whatever process it needs to do. And it's going to do it most likely, but it's just going to take whatever time it needs to do it. You can't fight it. You can't make it. It's got to put itself back together.
Brain foods. So omega-3s, 6s, 9s, hemp seed, flaxseed. I don't know if he's all about giving them some weed or whatever, but
he smokes. He's all about the smoke. He's a grown-ass man.
Smoking. Get CBD oils, like capsules, like real, like just pure, like high doses of fucking CBD oil, dude. Like 5,000 milligram fucking capsules of CBD oil, dude. And like I said, hemp seed, flax seeds, all that good brain food. I don't know if he likes walnuts and stuff. Walnuts look like a brain for a reason. It's good for your fucking brain.
But Davey, maybe some of your problems could be from the concussions and PTSD and stuff, depending on what
Depending on how
situation
old,
yeah.
what age you got your first concussions at and shit. Just they're finding now that just one concussion, just one small, what you might not think is a big, huge head injury, can fuck people's whole entire worlds up. They come back completely different people just from a little fucking bump on the head, and you got just a little, not even have a big egg or anything. And they're finding out that little bump was enough to shake that, rattle that head around, and
especially if you don't do anything about it, because a lot of people have concussions and don't get treated for it, the proper treatment for it, and that can have long-lasting effects. You said mushrooms are good. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
mushrooms are good for dealing with, you're able to talk to yourself and work on things and realize a lot. Like, I have a lot of younger stuff in my childhood block out, but not blocked anymore or anything because I've done my shadow work and shit. But you're able to actually look at that and look at everything from an outside perspective on the mushrooms and understand why shit went on and kind of put it to rest, as to say or whatever, and not, to realize, okay, that's what it happened, and that's why it had to happen that way, whatever, and let's just move forward from that and not let it keep affecting me the way that it affects me and shit like that. That's why what I use mushrooms for. Mushrooms are definitely good for healing and shit like that, and that's why I do it. I don't do them all the time and everything like that. If I'm gonna do them like on a daily type thing, I'll do micro doses and stuff, quarter gram and stuff. But we journey. Not even every month. I might take a larger dose like every 3 months sometimes, every 6 months. Just when I start to feel like, okay, it's time to do some work and stuff or whatever, and work some things out in my head and everything, Because I've had all kinds of brain injuries since, I was a kid. I've had so many concussions and shit and fucking lumps on my head and everything like that I probably got some wires and shit fucking loose up there.
My mama used to go upside my head. Shit. Yeah, super fun cat. Music, definitely. Music, there's definitely, when you find those music that are programmed the right way, there's some great artists out there who actually pay attention
Meditation's
to that.
good too. But if you don't want to do fucking mushrooms and stuff like that, meditation is good and stuff. And you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, or do anything like that. Just, you don't even have to sit. You could lay down and stuff. Just be in a comfortable position, close your eyes, and just let the thoughts float through your mind and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just sit there and start out with a few minutes and try and work your way up and stuff, until you can sit there. People are like, I can't sit there. Well, it's start out with like a couple of minutes. If you can meditate for 1 minute for a couple of days, then do 2 minutes, then do 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and so on and everything like that. Like we journeyed a few weeks ago and stuff, and I had my cousin who hadn't fucking taken mushrooms in years and everything like that. But I'm like, this is what we're gonna do, because when we do it, I'm like, this is how we basically do it. We eat the mushrooms and they start to kick in really good. We sit down, we get comfortable, lay down, whatever, close our eyes, or we're in a dark room, whatever. You close your eyes for the next 2 hours while we listen to the shamanic drumming and stuff, or music, whichever music we're listening to. For 2 hours. He's like, I can't sit there and do this for 2 hours. And I was like, yeah.
I don't think I could.
That's why we didn't do a full 2 hours and stuff. I usually don't do a full 2 hours for the first time for most people and stuff like that. But we did like an hour and a half. But a lot of times you got to work up that. I could do that for 6 hours now. I could sit there for a full 6 hour mushroom trip and just sit there with my eyes closed, basically, unless I gotta go to the bathroom, sit back down, and then keep my eyes closed, or sitting in a dark room or whatever and stuff, and like that, and just really deal with the fucking shit going on up in my fucking head. Same things with meditating and stuff. Like, if I don't meditate for a few days, even like, a few days to a week, like, I'm just like start to go crazy. But then I can just sit down and meditate for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, oh wow, fucking good. This is fucking great. Everything's good. Yep, dancing, music. And you gotta make sure it's good, it's positive music and stuff, because people are like, oh yeah, I love music and shit, and then I'm like, yeah, what are you listening to? And then I'm like, nah, that's not gonna help you out. I mean, fucking screaming heavy metal, fucking, fucking stuff that's talking about fucking murdering and fucking
killing, death, drugs
at the club, and women, fucking, or the girls are like, oh yeah, I'm listening to this fucking breakup,
twerking, drop it like it's hot,
fucking
I
breakup
hate
music,
you.
love
Fuck
song,
you.
fucking breakup music, fucking shit and everything. And I'm like, yeah, no wonder why you fucking go through these relationships the way you're going through, because that's what you're putting in your fucking head all the time. What are you watching on TV? Oh yeah, the same stuff, you know. Real Housewives, it's just stupid shit like that. I'm like, oh
Love and
great.
hip-hop.
No wonder why you and your fucking husband fight all the goddamn time like you're fucking on TV.
Yeah. Because you think that shit is natural. You're filling your energy and your space with a bunch of bullshit.
Yep.
It becomes the norm.
That energy.
Mushrooms did a lot for me. When I started with him a couple of summers ago, first it was the DMT, but then the mushrooms, and they did a lot for me. And he'll tell you, and I've talked about this openly over the course of the years before leading up to that it wasn't something I was interested in doing until I got educated by him and Willie Mike, calling the Chip Team family, and understood the powers of it. And like you said, he does it more where you're in a space where your energy and stuff is right. Like, I'm not thinking about anything negative. He's playing shamanic drumming, good music and stuff.
Setting is very important and stuff. Like, you know,
The
if
darkness
you
shit
want
was
to take
dope.
people want to take mushrooms to get high and be like, you're laughing with your friends. Oh, look at that shit's melting and the trees are dancing and the grass is doing all that cool stuff. That's fun and all and stuff. Yeah, go ahead, get high and do that stuff. But I use this stuff as, you know, it's literally a sacred medicine, and it can do a lot of good for a lot of people and stuff. Under the right setting. It's got to be, and with somebody experienced is doing this stuff, can help you through what's going on. Because again, like I said, when you're sitting there and you're dealing with a lot of the fucking bullshit and the trauma that you've gone through in your whole entire life and everything like that, that's why people are like, oh, I'm having a bad trip and shit like that. No, you just don't understand what's going on. You can't have a bad trip if you're with somebody who understands what's going on and can help you through that, and you fucking come out of that on the other side like, yeah, that was pretty fucking fucked up, but wow, I fucking feel great now. But if you don't have somebody there to help you through that and understand what's going on and what you're going through, you're still going to be like, fuck this, I fucking hate this, I don't want to ever do this shit again, that was the worst shit I ever fucking done in my life, what the fuck just happened to me, oh my god, that's fucking crazy. I had a bad trip, I'm never doing that again. Well, that's because you just took mushrooms and didn't know what the fuck you were doing and weren't with somebody who knows what the fuck was going on, you know?
Heroic dose genocide is 5
grams.
5 grams dried mushrooms. I've done it too. He's done way more than that. Shit, we've talked. There's people who do fucking 50 grams and shit. 40, 50 grams.
Most I've done is about 18 grams. 18, maybe it was 20. I don't know, because by that point I was already way fucked up. But about 18 grams. Most I've ever done. There you go, Wellness Farm. Yeah, well, microdosing is good, you know. If done properly, done right, take it every, 2 days. Small amounts in the morning.
Well, there you go, Genocide. You'll be there to help them through everything and guide them through the process. See, rather than them go off and do it the wrong way and get started on the wrong foot with it. That's
exactly, and that's what I'm going to do with my son when he wants to do it and stuff. I won't even wait till he's 18. He's like 16 school. I was doing mushrooms before that, but
Not me. I was a good boy. Shit, I didn't do anything for the longest time. I was a quiet boy.
Me too, Dave. Yeah, I tripped hard for fucking like 10, 15 years. I don't know, when I was younger and everything, and then I stopped for a while, for a good 10, almost 15 years, and then I decided that it was time to use it again. Because a lot of the times when I was tripping when I was younger, it was just mostly for fun and shit, and mostly because I was always able to keep people calm and fucking help them from freaking the fuck out and understand what the fuck you're seeing and what's going on and shit like that. So I had people like, oh, let's trip. I'm like, sure, why not?
Yep, no, not me.
What else do I gotta do?
Not me. The way I saw that shit, I was not taught any of that. It just seemed like party drugs and shit that fucking, it'll burn your brain out. And Nancy Reagan, even with the weed.
I mean, yeah, it can be, that's what the majority of a lot of people do. Although the shift is shifting more now towards not using psychedelics as party drugs and stuff like that. It's more going towards shamanic healing and everything like that.
But that information was not, again, but even back then, I didn't know anybody. Like, none of my friends in the hood was, you could get weed, you could get coke, you could get heroin, you could get all that shit. No one was like, yo, I got mushrooms, want to try mushrooms? Damn sure didn't hear about DMT until you started talking about that shit. I was, what the fuck? No one had ever talked, no one I know had ever was like, I got mushrooms.
Have a hard time finding them? Grow them. It's real easy to grow them. You can get everything online. It's real easy. It's actually really easy to find them pretty much there. You can find them everywhere in the world. Just look at your area where you live, what type of cubensis grow there, what type of psychedelic mushrooms grow in your area, and what type of conditions and stuff they like, and what time of the year they're most likely to be about, and just go do some foraging. And you can find them, you know. Most likely they're going to be where there's a lot of shit.
And shit, you want to talk about energy and spirit? That's when you really get to see all that shit in a whole different way. And you're never the same. And I'm not talking about a bad way, like we were like, you're never the same, and not in a dark way at all, in a really good way. You was a ranger, I was a Boy Scout, Cub Scout. Yeah, it was safe. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, you can find them at festivals. You know. They're starting to come out. The mushrooms are going to start to be all over the place, especially where they're starting to legalize them and stuff, like cities, and then whole entire states are going to start to legalize them. So, I don't think we'll ever see, like, acid legalized, which I mean, acid's just, it's alright, it's fun and all and stuff like that, but it's too modern. Like, I feel like it's too, like, acid's, like, really, like, a digital fucking visual trip and stuff like that, like I said. It's like it doesn't have all that information and energy and printing.
But what about like MDMA though? Because that's probably going to be legal. Because that's something that the government's actually testing. I've never done that. That's Molly, right?
Too. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. It's ecstasy and Molly. It's if that's done in the healing and the right way and stuff. If you're doing it in the club way and all that stuff, then it's I mean, even though it's chemical and all that stuff, but. Again, it's something I'd rather stick with. I'll do mushrooms. I'll do the peyote. I'll do ayahuasca. I'll do, fucking grow that shit. Oh, yeah, tons of people up in Maine grow them and stuff. I mean, you can, Maine all over the place. You can find them in the wild in Maine and stuff this time, especially this time of year.
Yeah, shit. Everything's going to be legal in Canada, cool K.
Yeah, Canada's is going to be going legal. Like I said, they're already, Denver and Oakland are already legal for recreational medical mushrooms. Oregon, I think, somewhere in Oregon's going next. Portland, I think, or something. It's weird. They're going cities with this first instead of states. It's not like when weed went legal and everything. Like, California went legal, and Washington and Oregon, whole states went legal. This with mushrooms, it's starting small, like, a city at a time. And then it will be a full state, and then it will be...
I mean, just think, though, if you could get a lot of those people away from...
Yeah, exactly. And I was just kind of giving the idea for people out there, wellness farms, ecstasy is, MDMA and ecstasy, that's mostly associated.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. Molly, it would be the more,
I've confiscated a whole lot of that shit over the years from people, but
then there's MDA, there's MMA, there's a whole bunch of them and stuff, but you don't know what you're getting unless it's getting tested and everything like that. That's why I know a cubensis is a cubensis, and I know peyote buttons when there's a peyote button. I don't need no test kit for that shit.
Shit. Yeah, see, I've just never tried anything. So now I've had weed, coke a couple of times involuntarily in weed that I didn't know. But yeah, peyote once, mushrooms and DMT.
Cities to criminalize weed, kinda. But I mean, weed went like I said, when it went full blown like legal and everything like that, and it just was state by state by state. Like the mushroom thing is.
Yeah, they're just testing it out. They're just trying to see how it will affect it. And then they'll do their little fucking surveys and shit to see how it affects the population, how many people have taken it, and blah, blah, blah. Arrest and blah, blah, blah behind it. And then they'll probably
it's already out there. I mean, with all this said, there's a lot of research coming out there with the mushrooms. That's why it's so easy right now, and everything that's coming out that people have been doing for the last 30 years of medical research. Plus, when you look at the recreational factor, mushrooms are safer than weed. As hard as that is to believe, mushrooms are fucking safer than weed. More people end up in the ER with actual injuries on marijuana and every other drug than mushrooms. If people end up on the ER they're usually just people who are like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what's going on. And they're like, here, just sit down in this room for a little while. You want some water or something to drink and stuff? You need us to call on somebody to bring you home? That's it. It's not anything. They don't even need to go to the psych ward and stuff or anything like that. Those cases are very, very slim. Very, very, very small numbers. So, like, when you look at the numbers and everything that they've been putting out there, is mushrooms is the fucking safest thing to do. You fucking, when it comes down to it and you think about it, you're like, whoa, wow, really?
What's mescaline? Because Michael Adams said he did what the hell's mescaline?
It's same thing it comes from like cactuses and stuff like that.
Okay.
Wow. It's like peyote. There's all different types of cactuses and things like that get you fucking high.
Didn't know that.
You got San Pedro. You got.
I've heard of San Pedro. You've talked about that before. Sorry, Davey. It's a shame that nothing is legal in Scotland.
I can't think them all right now and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. And you get certain things you can get DMT out of. And you get fucking frogs you can get DMT from. You get peyote, peyote, mescaline and stuff.
Yeah, the peyote incident of 96.
It's a different type of cactus, though, usually. I forget which one, but everybody all lumps it into the same fucking cactus usually. Same thing with with mushrooms. A cubensis is a cube, unless it's a fucking a penis envy. That's it. They're all pretty much the same, unless you know a mad scientist genius who's been fucking sitting there and fucking doing some crazy work to it like I do. Shout out to Willie Myko. Because his Fijis are way stronger than any Fijis you're gonna get from fucking just growing out some Fijis from a sports syringe you get from a shop. You know, that takes them a little bit or whatever. But basically, but then you get your different families, because that's the cubensis family. Then you get your Pinelli Sciences and all the other exotic fucking mushrooms and stuff like that get really fucking strong. Yeah, it's San Pedro cactus. But there's a couple of cactuses, and I can't remember all the different names of them, like I said, you know what I mean? Like, I can't remember all. There's about 120 or so fucking different types of psilocybe cubensis mushrooms and stuff. And then there's 6 or 7, the other ones. There's a few of that, there's like maybe 25, 30 exotic fucking ones that are known.
Yeah, Michael Adams, the cop and his wife ate the brownies. Out of their league. And they must ate a lot of brownies. And used to get mushrooms and make milkshakes with them. 5 of us. Me and him didn't puke them up. Fun night, though. Ew. A milkshake with mushrooms? That doesn't even sound good at all.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Just fast that day. If you don't want to puke, fast that day and drink a mushroom tea. But puking's not a bad thing when you're doing psychedelics. Especially, I don't know anybody who pukes on acid. But, especially like mushrooms, ayahuasca and stuff like that, you're getting something out of your system, or your body. It's telling you that there's something in you that you need to get out. And normally it will come out when you're puking and stuff like that, whatever it was. So it's actually a good thing, because it will get it out before you actually get sick from whatever it is, or sometimes you might be sick from something that you don't even know about or whatever. So, yeah, sciences, pan cans. There's a few different kinds of those.
Now y'all speaking Greek.
Just different types of mushrooms and stuff. But basically, generally, most people are just getting cubensis, some fucking purple mystics, some P, P6s, or some albino A pluses, just from the cubensis family. Even penis envies and stuff. But those pale in comparison to some pan can Jamaicans and stuff like that.
She said she used to put the mushrooms in tomato soup.
Yeah, tomato soup or something. Cooking in food like that. That's something, tomato soup or something like that. Or making pasta and with tomato sauce.
As bad as they taste, I prefer to eat them raw. with something
Yeah,
else.
I just either eat them or I
Because
drink
drinking
them in
it,
a
it comes
tea.
on too quick, man. Like I like the slow process where I get the waves and shit, and I get to go through. Because with that, when we drank it that last time, that shit was like, boom, like hello. I was like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's up? Like, where'd you come from?
I still get the waves. It just comes on a lot stronger because it's already all broken down and your body's able to absorb it a lot quicker and easier. Because when you chew it and break it up, those little pieces take a long time because your body doesn't digest mushrooms the way it does everything else and stuff. It doesn't break them down. So your body takes longer for it to suck the psilocybin out of the mushrooms when they're in your stomach and everything like that. So when you break it down and grind it up and fucking do a tea or something like that, kicks right in.
Peanut butter.
Still got the waves, but
peanut butter.
I'll just eat them. I'll just fucking eat that shit.
Yeah, remember I did that the first time, and that was literally the nastiest thing I've ever tasted in my life. It was just like eating a bunch of fucking aspirin or some shit and something else, because it was just like eating penicillin, I think. Yeah. I can't even take penicillin. I know I got sick once, but that was the purge. That was necessary. It was part of what needed to happen on that particular journey. The best was still the DMT, though.
Oh yeah, the Icarus you'll definitely purge. If you got to purge, when you listen to some Icarus, you would definitely purge it on some Icarus.
Well, I don't even know what an Icarus is.
That's what we were listening to.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes. Littles, does that mean that Terry's on the other end of that? Is that why she's making sure I see that she's there? Hi, big sis. Our other sister was in here earlier. I don't know if she's still here.
I've eaten them and taken them all different ways, but I always just find I usually just eat them, but lately, because normally when we do our journeys and stuff, we kind of on a time frame and stuff. You can really time your mushroom trip out really good that way.
Wait, hold on. Lisa F., you just took it to a whole nother level. So you munch the mushrooms, but would put the buttons in a milkshake and then cut it with scotch? The fuck?
Yeah.
Milk and scotch, and then with good God, you must have a stomach lined with steel. That doesn't even sound that. Ooh.
The waves, the tidal waves. Yep.
I love the waves.
Love the waves.
The waves are awesome. Especially when you're not expecting that last wave, and then when you're still like, is there another wave coming? Like you're still waiting just in case. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's like.
Love you too, big sis.
That's definitely I like doing the teas. You still get the waves and stuff, but you know it's gonna hit you right here, and you know it's gonna be done in 6 hours. Well, definitely 5 hours. You're able to drive home and everything like that. 6 hours, you're definitely done.
You.
So we're trying to do things on a time schedule and stuff, which really helps out when you, especially in the medical thing and stuff like that. But when we go up in like the woods and we're camping and whatever and stuff, and we don't have to worry about shit, families around and everything, and
just nature, the stars and shit and everything.
Getting out of work and just fucking eat. I'll just fucking munch on mushrooms all day long.
I know, when we going to Vermont?
We're gonna figure it
We're
out.
plan a trip to Vermont. Who's coming with us?
Who's coming with us? Anybody in the New England area, or even anybody in the country? If you can get to Vermont when we go to Vermont, you're welcome to come. Bring a tent and a sleeping bag.
Yep, because that's how we sleep. It's our friend's property though. There's a well there for water and everything. It's cool. It's roughing it.
Yep. I'll wake up. I'll eat a little bit of mushrooms. I'll start off a little microdose in the morning, and slowly throughout the day, I'll bump it up a little bit more.
Davey, I think you
later
asked
on at night, sitting by the fire, I'll just eat a fucking handful.
Wait, he said, so is tripping touching the soul or spirit? Is it the same? I think absolutely, but I think it goes beyond that. I think it gives you a glimpse of the energy that kind of powers all that. At least for me, I'm trying to put something in words that you've tripped, so you want to maybe get an idea of what I'm saying, but maybe put it into words for people who've never tripped, because it's trying to put something that is almost impossible to explain, colors and things that you just can't explain, because I don't even understand everything I've ever seen. But I do say that was the thing. It touched me so deeply, which is why 2 years later, this month, I stopped eating meat. I just started to see things different, and it just made me really understand animals, insects, trees, the grass, watching the grass breathe and the ground breathe and stuff like that. It really, it does. It touches. It's supposed to touch you. And I think it's important what he was saying about knowing that you're doing the proper work when you're on these things to get that experience out of it, rather than fucking, not that I guess watching Alice in Wonderland and all that stuff isn't a cool part of it, but that's just not what I want to do or what I've ever got out of the journeys.
Yeah, people that are doing stuff like that, and then it's like, oh, let's watch some cool movies and stuff like that. They're not. They're in it for the fun stuff. And even sometimes some stuff might start to come up, and they fight it, and they'll try and do something and change their mind and bring themselves back to reality somehow and everything. Because you can kind of break yourself out, not completely stop tripping and stuff, but you can be like, oh fuck, and you start thinking you'll pick up their phone or something like that, and like, oh, let's read some text messages and shit like that, and do stuff so that they're not thinking. That's why we sit there. If you just sit there, because that's how you, Terrence McKenna, 5 grams, silent darkness. Okay, silent darkness doesn't necessarily mean like, because you'd be out in the woods and you're gonna hear crickets and shit, but that's what he means. Out away from everything, no fucking lights from humans, no nothing, no talking, silent, just sitting there in the dark, silent. Bam, 5 grams, 7 grams.
That
Do it
fucking
up.
Darkness shit is the shit, though. It
All
really
right.
is.
And then you want to, take it to another level. Because I don't know if he meant close your eyes while you're sitting out there in the woods or whatever. Because you close your eyes, or if you sit in a room, like I go in my grow room where it's complete darkness, and go in there, and because you don't have to close your eyes then, the shit you see and everything like that, like so easily and everything, and then you just to sit there and to see that and watch that and listen to the music and everything and all your thoughts and stuff for a long time, for a couple of hours, people can't, they're like, that's why people go crazy, or they have bad trips and stuff, or they try and do that if they're not with somebody who's experienced and shit. Because it's the thoughts that's in your head. It's like, yeah, I'm seeing this stuff, but it's the stuff that you're thinking when you're thinking about all this stuff. It's the things, the memories that are being brought up. Why did this happen? Well, that was a good memory. That was a bad memory. Okay, let that bad memory happen and everything like that. Don't just fucking try and change and do it. Deal with that memory. That's coming up for a reason and shit like that. Most people, like I said, they would pick up their phone at that point, or they would fucking, let's watch a different movie. Let's go for a walk. Let's do something else. Let's look at the trees. Let's light a fucking candle and watch it melt. Let's do some fun tripping stuff. You know what I mean? Let's put on some music and dance or whatever. Most people don't want to deal with that part of stuff. But that's the medicine part. That's the healing shit of it.
Davey, so you said it's a changed perspective. Absolutely. I think it's adjusted. It's supposed to do that.
It's again like with the brain thing. Mushrooms are now they're showing and proving it's actually making connections in parts of your brain and stuff like that nothing else on this fucking earth is fucking shown to. It's psychedelics in general, what they're doing in your brain. So it's doing that, and it's making actual changes in your brain and stuff. But again, you're able to sit there if you're able to do it like we do, and it's hard because you go through some shit. My fucking life is not pretty. We talked about a lot of the shit on here, okay? I fucking abused my whole entire fucking childhood and shit, all kinds of crazy shit. So coming to terms and grips with that and stuff, because most people that go through all that shit, they're fucking crazy fucking people on all kinds of prescription drugs. I'm not. I fucking live a fucking great life. I mean, it's not fucking perfect, and I know who has a perfect life, you know what I mean? I get sad and stuff like that, but I'm able to deal with all my shit and that goes on in my life because of mushrooms, and I only need to take them every once in a while because I've sat there for fucking 4 hours in the fucking dark, 5 hours in the dark on 7 grams of fucking mushrooms, and just sat there with my own thoughts and thought about all this stuff and why it happened and put it to fucking bed, basically. You know what I mean? To put it to rest and fucking made my peace with everything, and I've moved past that, and stuff doesn't bother me anymore and stuff. Stuff that I've blocked out and didn't want to think about it, I haven't thought about in fucking however many years, completely changed. I look at it in a different way, because when I'm on the mushrooms, it's not like me as the little kid thinking about it or whatever. It's a total, not even me as an adult looking at it. It's like I'm totally of an outside perspective looking at this whole situation and understanding why and everything, understanding how it happened or whatever, and coming to grips, whether I sit there and I cry about it or whatever and shit, or I laugh, whatever the situation may be,
talk about
it and move on. Even if there's people there to talk about it, but like I said, you really do sit there and you don't talk to anybody, you don't do anything, you just sit there in the dark, whether it's in the dark in the woods or in a dark in your room where there's no noise, nobody's going to be talking, you're not going to hear any of that shit. Don't pick up your phone, don't do nothing, eat the fucking mushrooms, sit there and close your eyes. Obviously, if you got to get up and piss or whatever, you know what I mean, do that. But sit there, your own thoughts, and you'll really start to understand a lot of the stuff. Mushrooms is a lot of the reasons where I started to make me really think about all this shit, the fucking paranormal, all these stories, all this bullshit, all these things, and start to fucking really change and be like, yeah, that's fucking, that's pretty fucking weird, you know, and start to see more shit than fucking ever. It opens up your mind. It helps lift that fog that everybody goes through during the day, because you're able to actually sit there and stop and think. Because time doesn't exist when you're on fucking mushrooms.
No, it does not.
You can look at a clock and be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's 10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Sit there and then you think like 5 hours went by and you're like, oh, look, it's 10 o'clock. And fucking time doesn't matter, so you just sit there and you work on that shit and you deal with all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like I said, usually when we do it and everything, we do about a 2.5 hours where it's during the peak part where it's very intense, and then after that we, you know, have kind of fun. We sit around the fire, listen to music, whatever, and
Well, it's fun because the
shit
first
and-
experience though was like that for me. Like the very first one, watching the grass and the water and everything stuff.
Well, the way we did it though isn't like, you know, all these fucking hippies at the festivals and stuff to it.
See, again, I'm not ready for all that public consumption and being around just random people yet. Like I just know that's not for me yet. I like the isolation, especially when we're up in like in the woods and stuff, and there's no noise. I don't even see how people can look at their cell phones and stuff like that. Like my mind is so away from that stuff. Like my phone and everything like that is the furthest thing from my fucking mind. I don't want to text. I don't want to talk. I just want to be in the moment and what I'm doing and like what I hear and what I see and just.
Yeah, fractals and stuff. That's what like. The mushrooms and psychedelics in general basically show you the matrix and how everything is. But once you realize and you see that, and then you realize it helps you to realize your place in this world and how really insignificant you are. I know that kind of seems bad, but how important you are at the same time, because if your structure wasn't there, then the rest of the structure would change, and it wouldn't be the way that it is and stuff. And I don't know about you, but a lot of time, especially when you're doing the shamanic drumming and stuff like that, and who does it? Alex Gray's wife, Allison, her paintings and her work, this lettering, this script, and it's unlike anything else. And the only place I've ever seen it was when I'm on psychedelics and when I saw her artwork. And of course, the only place I've ever seen any artwork that's close to fucking what you see on psychedelics and stuff like that is her husband. So they're definitely doing some psychedelics. But the stuff that you see, and for whatever reason, I understand what it says when I'm looking at it when I'm tripping. But when you listen to the shamanic drumming, the waves are like this, and I start to see this ribbon, and it's weird. It's because I see it from all directions and shit like that. And there's like this story, and these certain pieces will go, it's going like that. And when it comes to an important one, that highlights, and it's fucking weird as shit. But I'm not the only one who sees it like this, because she paints this shit, so she sees it too. And I'm sure other people, I've talked to other people, they kind of talk about it in a similar way and stuff. And when they like symbols, and I'm like, these symbols? And they're like, yes, those symbols.
Dave, you said, what's her name again?
Allison Gray. Alex Gray, psychedelic artwork painter and stuff. He does all the artwork for Tool's albums and stuff, and all kinds of stuff. His wife, she's also a psychedelic painter. But the stuff that she paints is different than his stuff. It's stuff that I see both of what they do. Both at work, I see it, but she was the first person I ever seen that actually like is trying to like map this out, even though she doesn't understand what each symbol and stuff means either. But she actually has, like, she's trying to get them all, these symbols, and then trying to decipher and everything like that to figure out what this language is that people are seeing now. Because I don't just see him scrolling off that ribbon. Now that I'm more where I am now it's like that. I don't know if you have to be at different levels and stuff, but I've always seen those symbols and stuff flashing and stuff like that throughout trips. Even when I was younger, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I was thought like Egyptian or some shit like that, but then I fucking stumbled on, I've always been a fan of his and stuff, but then I found out that his wife does work, and then I seen her work, and I was like, oh shit, that's what that is. So
yeah, I still can't explain like the shit on the DMT was a whole different, a similar but different experience, but the shit that I saw on that, the symbols and stuff, I couldn't explain those at all. And then that's why I had to go back down the second time. But the second time, it was a whole different experience in that trip. But
Fucking,
that's
where's my pipe? Who wants to do some DMT?
Gonna blast off right now. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Shit. And the DMT, I will say again, is the only thing that I can liken to the experience when my brain exploded and my lights went out. It's the only thing that has been similar to that put me in a space and a place where I was like, wow, okay. So that's also Davey, where he talked like the spirit and the soul and everything like that, the connection to that too, like with DMT especially. Because in darkness and stuff, my whole life, like especially just sitting in darkness, whatever, I could see weird colors and stuff like that. So that stuff wasn't really, I can understand how that works.
Yeah, it's way more intense though.
But
Because
with-
I
yeah,
see
it's way-
colors and
exactly,
stuff
yeah.
when I'm sitting in the dark without psychedelics. But
Good
when
night,
you're
Cool
on
K. Peace and
psychedelics,
love.
I used to. I wish I could find it on the Wayback Machine. I'm still searching. I'm trying to find it. I'll find it one day because it's on the fucking interweb somewhere up there in the fucking clouds somewhere. But I wrote this thing when I was probably candy flipping. Or fucking hippie flipping. I was either on mushrooms and fucking Molly, or I was on fucking acid and fucking Molly, or one of the combination of two. I was definitely on 2 different psychedelics at that point in time. Maybe some fucking cocaine. Who the fuck knows? But I sat there and I wrote this whole fucking thing down that broke down like fucking life through the point of psychedelics, but how everything was connected. And even people who didn't do psychedelics would read it and they didn't know it was about psychedelics and shit like that. They'd fucking start crying and be like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. It was just like how everything fucking was connected all the way down to the littlest tiniest fucking thing, and the way I wrote it out and everything. It was like 3 pages long and stuff. And like I said, my mom read it. All these people will just fucking, oh yeah, let me read it. I had it online and shit, and fucking but I mean, this was way back like AOL 2.0 fucking stupid fucking
You've
shit.
got
Like,
mail.
I mean, it was
dial up and shit.
But it was crazy, and it like described everything, and like it was, yeah.
Davey, other than the peyote incident of '96, which doesn't really count, DMT was my introduction to psychedelics, and because of that, and then I did it back to back, like I did 2, back to back experiences, and that's why moving into the mushrooms and stuff, because that was the thing with the DMT, you kind of want the trip to be longer, but it happens, and you come out of it, and you're like, fuck, like what the fuck just happened? Like especially for me, it was so mind opening and so mind altering. And altering, because that was the thing, I was extremely afraid because of the injury my brain has had and stuff like that, what experience I was going to have and what effect it could have on me long term. And they've been nothing but positive. I absolutely have to say that. I'm not saying it as a doctor. I'm not saying anybody who's saying. I just know for me personally that it started with weed, which got me away from all the prescribed drugs and stuff that they were giving me. And then psychedelics took my brain to a whole nother level in a way that, again, seeing energy, seeing things about people and stuff, but in an even better light now, understanding things in my own energy, giving even a bit of more experience about who I am and what I am. Blast off?
Sure.
We have ignition.
Right, you want to go first?
No. Not right now. I have to prepare myself. Any desert experience? Yes. Well, that's the peyote incident of '96. So in '96, I can't say who I was working for, but I was doing tour work, and I was in Arizona, and coincidentally with a bunch of people in the desert at a rave party who were supposed to be people who should have been looking out for me, but I smoked something that I thought was weed, and I didn't even smoke weed back then. I was just kind of, with who I was with, I felt comfortable enough, like when in Rome, do as they were doing. So I actually did it, and turned out it was peyote, and I don't remember much of the experience, but running through the desert with Timberlands on and boxer shorts because I was really, really hot. And I remember just a lot of time talking to the stars in the universe. That's really what I can say about that experience for me. Where I think now if I did it because of his, dealing with him, dealing with Willie Michael, the Trip Team family stuff, and being around other people I've seen do DMT and stuff and mushrooms, I think the experience on peyote would be completely different for me. I didn't go to Contact in the Desert this year, which I was going to. I just couldn't last minute. And I actually planned on going to Joshua Tree and doing a journey while I was there. That didn't work out. So most likely, maybe next time I'm in California, I'd probably like to try that, because I usually do a couple of events I go to are in Southern Cali, which are usually close to Joshua Tree. So I am determined to go out there, because my whole life I've wanted to visit the place anyways and just smoke weed there when I started smoking weed. So why not take it to the next level? So I do want to have that desert experience. And I'm supposed to be, I should, as far as I know, be at, I don't know, what the fuck is it called? The International UFO Conference at the beginning of next month in Arizona. So who knows? I may, because I'll be out there for a few days, decide to go fucking venture out and find
Davey,
a cool place.
DMT is like an acid or mushroom trip, and shorten the whole experience shortened into a 7 to 10 minute trip. So take your acid trip. Everything that happened in that acid trip.
Come on over, Davey. Just come on over. Come to Boston.
Shrink it down to 7 to 10 minutes.
Come on over here, man.
And that's what happens in that. That's why they call it blast it off, because you blast the fuck off. You see some shit in that fucking few minutes, and you're like, holy fuck! It's and you can't even. It's so hard to explain everything when you get back and remember anything. It takes weeks and weeks, and you might be sitting there a month later and be like, oh shit, I remember that when I was fucking up there, fucking blasted off. Holy shit, I saw that fucking. Wow.
And I will say, out of all this stuff, the only time that Jiggy will ever say, other than the Sam Cassell, who I still think might possibly be an alien experience in my life, that I can absolutely 100% say that this is where I had my alien encounter. If you want to call them aliens, we call them the dudes, whatever you want to call them, beings, whatever they were.
The DMT
they
entities.
Were no place close to here, one.
You don't just see them, because I see them when I'm on high doses of mushrooms and stuff, and I'm deep into a deep meditation. And
see, what I see on mushrooms is different, though. I see a different kind of thing than what I saw in DMT.
I'll see the DMT beans and everything like that, and see the stuff that I see that I'm on DMT. DMT, though, when I'm seeing on DMT, is like, it's like I get so much faster on DMT, when the mushrooms is a long, drawn-out thing with it and everything. DMT, you can't, yeah, Ryan's right, you can't take DMT like blotter unless you have an MAOI inhibitor. That's why DMT, ayahuasca is DMT, but the other stuff that they put in the brew is a MAOI inhibitor, so it allows it to be the DMT to be taken orally, and then when you take it orally, you can trip for 12 to 18 hours. Like a DMT trip for 12 to 18 hours when you do it like that. There's other ways besides making an ayahuasca. I forgot what you do. Willie's got a video and stuff, and you do it and stuff, and you make it. But yeah, so I'm gonna smoke some changa right now, which is changa.
Can you pass me the blunt then while you do that?
I can smoke that too.
What the hell is changa?
Changa it's DMT, and this is some Trip Dream weed, but it's Trip Dream weed coated with DMT in a way that it will stay on there and be able to smoke it in a pipe like this and everything. And I should be able to blast off with the amount of hopefully that I put in there, but that's enough or whatever. But you can make it with other herbs and stuff like rosemary or whatever and stuff, whatever preferred, because some people don't like smoke weed, and some people do it with tobacco. Some people just like smoking certain herbs and flowers and stuff like that, and you can put the DMT on there and you can smoke it this way if you don't want to just vaporize it.
Peaceful journey. Yeah, Davey, when you come over, you can do the American chill. See why you're in America. You can call it the America chill. This is DV. I gotta really. I'm gonna start studying your accent so I can get it down packed. I'm ashamed to say that I love listening to it, so I haven't studied enough to do it yet.
Yes, Ryan. Trip Dream is Willie Straight.
Oh, and it's awesome. It's a great strain, my friend. As we were toting on in New Orleans, Ryan.
You've never seen me blast off or do anything on here before, Adam? I've sat here on mushrooms for like 5 hours.
Yeah, Metaphor, she once
She
blasted off twice, DMT, right over there.
Okay,
I haven't done it live yet. There you go, Davey. I'm telling you, just DM Tasha from Mysterious Forces Live. She'll tell you about her experience. She had a great time here. She didn't go blunt for blunt with us. She had to tap out a little some point and start smoking a pipe, but she had a great time with us. You'd have a great time too, my brother. Trust me. Get your proper too. Because I feel like I said I'd love to sit down and have a Well, we'll talk off air anyway. So I want to talk to you about the fog and stuff. That really intrigues me because I absolutely 100% positively can tell you that I know what you talk about. And if you've listened to me talk about it over the years, I've spoken about it before. It's something that I knew was part of everything, but it wasn't part of anything that had to do with the brain injury as far as surgery and stuff and the aneurysm and stuff. That was more, I don't want to call it supernatural, but I think it's part of that, it's just part of it's part of an awakening. I think it's part of the awakening process. Like I said, that's when I really felt like when I started that fog and started to lifting it and understanding what it was and how I started to perceive the world and people and stuff. It was what I had to do, how I had to see things and learn how to see the world and how to see people. Which also made me feel like too, though, I was looking at a world that I didn't completely know. That's why this all seemed kind of foreign to me.
Ryan, you can't get seeds of the Trip Team Dream yet, and I don't know if you're going to be able to get feminized seeds when you can yet. It's not released yet, but it will be coming soon. You'd have to hit up Willie and stuff and see if he knows exactly when. But we see Willie. We know Willie lives nearby and stuff. So
and we were in New Orleans together. So.
He was just in New Orleans with him. Willie, he was just over here with me the other day, hanging out for a little bit and stuff. When I got this changa and. He gave me the changa, he gave me some Trip Team Dream hash that he made, and I got some Trip Team Dream here that's been curing for a few months. He gave me some other supplies for some video I'm helping him make that I don't know when it will be released. Hopefully we get to finish this year, but if not, it will definitely be done next year.
Absolutely, Davey, too. Yes, we are multi-layered, and we live in a multi-layered universe and everything. There's levels. It's like they say, there's levels to this shit.
It's like getting down to the changa now. So
all right.
It's all right. I can I'll just keep going as long as I can. Just do whatever.
I just want to see how if this.
I'm definitely fucking higher than I was.
Yep. Oh, there's so much to all this shit. People try to simplify it and explain it and everything. Everybody has an explanation for who we are, what we are, and how you're supposed to do things. That's not the blueprint for it. You've got to connect with things like this, and it will show you what the blueprint for you is. Yeah.
Good stuff.
I apologize, Davey, too, because I've never got a chance to join the show, but I will actually sometime when I can. Most of the time when I'm listening, because you do see me in the chat and stuff, I'm listening, but I could be driving or doing other things, but I'm definitely there paying attention, brother. The chill is awesome. And just as another YouTube content creator, I want you guys to, Davey has a great thing that he does, a midweek chill, Sunday chill. He does different chills and stuff where it's just him, and sometimes even some of you folks that get involved. I don't know if he's because he's changing things up a little bit, so I don't want to speak freely for him, but you should definitely go subscribe. You can do it right now. Just tap on him, go subscribe to his channel, and just check it out. I love it because there's great conversations about different things. It's never really just one thing. There's always different things going on, different people with different input and stuff. So it's a good chill, as he says. That's why I like what he calls it, because it definitely is. There's not really any yelling. There's no fussing and stuff. There's a bunch of people kicking some shit around. And that's what this stuff is. It's so, Davey, we're so driven. I know you are. I know most people are driven by their own personal experiences. You know, and when you get into this stuff too, like psychedelics and stuff. Yeah, okay. See? Let's let him journey a little bit for a minute.
I'd have to put more in it. I don't know. I've never smoked chocolate.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You need to be the guinea pig. You see the dudes, let me know. Tell them I said what's up. Thank you, Ottomines. It's a good way to do that. Awesome, see? See, that's dope that people like to see. That's what I'm saying. I love that about all the folks who are all family and all these different chats and different stuff that we all do. And I see all these different people, and it's that they know to kind of look out for each other and post stuff like that automatically. That's awesome. Thank you, Ottomine. I'm telling you, folks. It definitely, Davey, getting back to saying earlier, it really did help me connect to my spirit. But the spirit of everything, the energy, the soul of everything too. I think it just gives you such a good glimpse of that stuff, and it's important. It was important for me at the time, and I was resistant. You can go back and listen to all the shows before that, and you'd be like, Jiggy, what? Jiggy ain't doing shit, and all this type of stuff. And in hindsight, I wish I was younger and would have had a Smoke King in my life to kind of guide me through that stuff and everything, and had been able to do it younger, and maybe dealt with a lot of the issues that I've dealt with too, you know, on mushrooms, on psychedelics. DMT opened the doorway, literally, and took me to another place and showed me things that I had never seen before, and made me get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it made me hunger for more. And I haven't journeyed. I think it's been almost a year now. So like my next journey will be like the first time probably in like a year. And that's what I'm saying. So it's not like I'm just always tripping and always journeying and stuff like that. I'm not looking for anything, but when I'm on there, I'm finding the answers to the things that I don't even ask for. I just let it kind of guide me through stuff. What I love about it is the communication, the verbal communication that goes on without your mouth moving, even with the people around you. You know, we do it together and stuff, and we're able to kind of communicate without moving our mouths. The best was in the darkness, though, that way of communicating, like us being in the dark and kind of sitting in that room and stuff with our eyes closed and experiencing that, and just knowing that you can kind of be in the same moment. And even drawing people who aren't tripping, who aren't even on mushrooms around you, who are kind of drawn into the experience with you when it's going on. Yeah, he's in a Zen state right now. Sorry, I'm just letting him enjoy the moment. Live on Paranormal Hood. As Smoke King journeys downward, he's traveling down, traveling down. He's coming back, folks. He's returning from the journey, the long journey. You back?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
Just a nice little trip. Need a little bit more next time, though. But woo! Holy fucking shit!
I hear you, Davey.
When you come back, and you start looking and you open your eyes, it's like I can see the electricity going through all the wires and everything.
I was a different kind of woke before all this stuff, Davey, if that makes sense. Like, the switch was hit after the brain stuff and everything, but it just exposed me to, it was like the lights got brighter, the better in that sense. You know, like the switch, the other switch needed to get hit. It's like you walked in a room and maybe you hit the small light, the one light, but someone hit the main light and the other lights fucking came on. Alright, littles, I would like to have a psychedelic experience. Just can't get anything here in Sydney. I feel bad for you, Brad Gray. You need to make your way. I know it sounds easier said than done, but America, man, come here, smoke some weed, have a good time. There's places even in some states where you can go get mushrooms now. Don't suffer.
Wow. That's a good little. It's a good little ride.
Once you stop resisting, new doors open and see things that make you want to see and feel the journey your own. Absolutely, littles. It's the most important part of it. Those doors start to open. You just can't be resistant of it. You know, it's a fear. It's getting over that fear. Like he always says, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's the most important part of it. I've never in my life before that did anything voluntarily that I knew was going to control me for hours. That was always my fear of not being able to control myself for so long. Weed and stuff like that, I can control all that. You're talking about something that you're in a place that you once you're in there, you're not coming out. Like there's no turning back. So I had to get comfortable with that, and that was the whole process. That he did the shamanic drumming, everything. He sort of made a note, like, you know, listen for the drums and stuff. Like when you hear the drums, focus on them. They will come when you need them. Different things that were taught to me that made the whole process and the whole experience beautiful and what it's supposed to be. That's why I speak highly of something you would have heard me be like, fuck that before. And this is 2.5 years ago?
Is Willie going to Australia?
I don't know.
I forgot. He just rattled off. He's going on a fucking like worldwide fucking journey right now, and I don't know if he said Australia was. I know he's going to like fucking Thailand, Indonesia, fucking Peru, and Mexico, and fucking Hawaii. He's gonna be traveling around showing where and how to get psychedelics in all over the world.
Oh yeah.
He knows also if Australia's not on there, whoever's in Australia that can't get fucking mushrooms or can't get fucking DMT or anything like that, you can get it. You're just not talking to the right people and not looking in the right places. It's there. And Willie could probably tell you how to go about getting it there and everything like that. Because mushrooms grow everywhere in the world. You have psychedelic. I know this psychedelic. Again, look up your area. What type of psychedelic mushrooms grow in Australia?
Shit, Davey said look for the frogs.
In the wild. Plus this, again, this
5-MeO DMT.
Definitely need to put more in there when if you do it, if I do it again in a few minutes or whatever. Definitely need more than what I
would
had
do it
in there.
Saturday, if anything. But,
yeah, I have some over here, I got more over there. I got a
I'm
couple
not ready to be
grams of it,
exposed like
so.
that on camera. I don't know if those guys can. Yeah, I wouldn't lick any frogs either, Brad Gray. I hear
Yeah,
you.
no, you don't have to.
No, but I know there are frogs. There is frogs you can lick though. Again,
You can just lick. You can lick the frog, but when you do the Cambo ceremony, they would call it, and stuff like that, or you get the DMT, the 5-MeO from the DMT, you don't just lick the frog and everything like that. You don't have to just lick the frog. You literally can just squeeze the frog and the stuff comes out. And then you can just, do whatever and everything like that. And yeah, but make sure it's the correct frog and everything like that, you know what I mean? But
yeah, you don't want to kiss the wrong frog. You ain't going to get no prints, homie.
The wrong frogs. Again, make sure if you're looking for mushrooms in the wild that you know you are certain it is the correct mushrooms to be finding in the wild.
I have almost perfect pitch.
Yeah, definitely have to put some more in there if we do it again tonight.
Big sis, I don't even know what valerian root is. So you did I'd have to look that up, huh?
Good stuff.
You know what it is? She said she had.
You can have psychedelics, but it's not a psychedelic experience. Anything compared to what you're gonna have, what we have on that. Valerian roots, it's a sleep medicine. Basically, it's like melatonin and stuff like that. It's used for sleep, and if you take enough of it, you'll have a psychedelic dreams and stuff like that. If you stay awake on it too, you'll see some stuff like that. But it's not anywhere near as what you get off of taking mushrooms and stuff like that. With DMT, changa, kissing the right kind of frogs.
Oh yeah, the panda head. You've never seen me with the panda head on? Every now and then I wear it. Panda. All right. Okay.
It's even the thumbnail for some of our old videos.
What, the panda head?
The panda head. With you with the panda head on. Yeah, I'm sure there's some with the panda head on.
Oh, that's right. You showed me what this thumbnail thing is. Yeah, it used to be further over there, then it made its way over here. I like to sit there, just stare at everybody. And every now and then I wear it.
You want one too, huh?
Yeah.
Last
one. Kiss a frog. And that's the problem. I don't know what magic mushies look like. It's one of the things I see in your picture. Well, that's why you need to get with a network of people who know that stuff and can help you.
You got Google and internet and stuff like that. You can people will show you there's books. You could probably even go to your local library and get books about how to forage for mushrooms and psychedelic mushrooms and everything like that, and you'd be able to tell the difference and stuff like that. Cubensis are really easy to spot and everything like that. There's not, you don't have to worry too much about it looking like another type of mushroom that would be a bad mushroom when you're looking for cubensis. If you were looking for some like Amanita muscaria, because there's Amanita muscaria, and then there's the fucking mushroom that you eat and you're fucking gonna die.
Yeah, don't
but
die,
Amanita
please.
muscaria is not even really a psychedelic trip. It's more like a drunk kind of trip. I mean, it's like you see, but you don't, and it's more of a drunky feeling and stuff like that. So, so you want to stay with cubensis and stuff like that. But there's plenty of information on there that you can find about mushrooms and stuff, and how to forage for mushrooms, and where you look for mushrooms, and what time of year you would look for mushrooms and stuff like that. But again, I mean, I know that in Australia things are a little bit more strict with the drugs and stuff like over than they are over here in the U.S. and
With the medicine, they're not drugs
and stuff. Well, they're still
Hi, Ma.
considered. But you could definitely find the right people. You're gonna find some mushrooms and stuff like that. If you want to do psychedelics, you're better off sticking with mushrooms and you know, than getting some acid, because you don't know if it's actual acid or the other stuff that's out there. I don't know all the fucking different fucking abbreviations and fucking things for it all nowadays. You know, so.
Davey, I'm telling you, I'm going to practice. I have to listen to your accent, because I see that I keep hearing Sean Connery, who's Welsh, and then I can't pull up William Wallace's fucking Mel Gibson in my head. But I just have to, because the problem is when I listen to you, I focus on what you guys are talking about. I don't really focus on your voice, because I have to listen sometimes to understand what you're saying. So I have to kind of focus on see, with somebody like, you know, like David Wilcox, it's easy because you don't want to focus on what I'm saying, because everything's bullshit. Meet Elizabeth, make it all up as we go along. See, when I listen to him, I don't really pay attention, because I know he's saying bullshit most of the time. So it's easy to make fun of someone like that. But you, again, I actually listen to the content, my brother, so I have to sometimes just sit down and focus, and then one day I'll just pop on when you least expect it, and you'll be listening, and bomb. He's not Welsh? I thought he was Welsh. Okay, I see. I apologize. See? I'm wrong. So wait, is Sean Connery, he's Scottish? Because he's not English, right? I'm getting a lesson here. What's up, Lisa F? You back? See, she couldn't go to sleep. She's like, fuck it, I had to stay. No? Well, okay, so what is Sean Connery that... Okay, can you just tell me what... Can just help a brother out? And just tell me what he is? And then I'll know, because then I can try to kick in my Sean Connery. Hold on, see? I haven't done that shit in a long time, because I used to love 007.
We used to have Thinks and Davey after a show.
He's not going to tell me. Thanks. Come on, Davey. Help a brother out. I just don't remember. I thought he was Welsh. I apologize. I know Roger. Never mind. I'm not going to go down the list of people with accents and shit, because I just know you have what. Again, I listen to your content. I listen to what's going on, so. Stop screaming at the seat. Just type, what is he, please? Is he Scottish? Can you help a brother out? Come on. Work it out here. Help me out. Smoke King, you have ever tried passion flower? That's one herb that I've tried, but it was too powerful for me. So if mushrooms are stronger, I probably couldn't handle it.
Passion flower? I don't know. I don't think I've ever tried passion flower, but I don't even know if I've heard it. I'll look it up, but no, I mean, when you're talking about psychedelics and stuff like that, you gotta get up, you know. The flowers and the herbs and stuff, there's not many flowers that are gonna give you actual real, what you're gonna get off of mushrooms and stuff like that. Trying to think of what would, but not passion flower, I don't know. I'll look it up in a second.
I think you meditate and stuff. I think you could handle a mushroom journey. I think in the right circumstances and stuff, just set up right, you would definitely be able to do it. Oh, he's from Edinburgh. Okay, so you Edinburgh's. So what does that make him? I'm sorry to say. I mean, I don't know the whole how all the demographics all work. So folks who do what? So Scottish. Okay, because see, I didn't know. See, okay, so Edinburgh,
Edinburgh
is okay. Thank you. I apologize. Okay. So, Sean Connery. Sean Connery. I got to work it out, okay? I'll start there. I'll start working on it, okay? I apologize. Now I know. I've been brought up to speed. But yeah, big sis, I think you could handle it in the right circumstances and stuff. Maybe one day you ever come this way.
Oh, see, Ryan knows. Passion flowers and MAOI. So that's something that you would use with the DMT I have right now, so it lasts longer and you could take it orally. Does it fuck you up in any way, Ryan? So I don't have to look it up. Can you fill us in there? Let us know a little bit more about passion flower.
Oh, Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland.
I said I might have heard a little bit about it and stuff at some point in my travels and and readings and whatnot. It's just
Davey, hold up. Okay, I barely know the capitals of most of the fucking states here anymore in America. I've never been to the UK. I apologize. I'd love to visit and stuff like that. I have plans on in the future. I just don't know a lot. So, see, you're supposed to help a brother out and educate me and hook me up. Be like, all right, this is so-and-so. I'm bang. Don't get mad. Don't break your keys. Your computer should be cool. Your computer's like, yo, the brother just doesn't know. And it's our job to educate him so he does know. And now I know. See? Don't get mad, brother. It's love, peace, and love. Each one teach one, you know. You know what I'm saying, right? Help each other out. We all work together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Good night, littles. You can use it as a base for changa, but I've never used it on its own. Yeah. Yes, now I know, Davey. And I'll never make that mistake again. See?
See, now you mention that, I think in Willie's video about changa, I think he says passion flower is one of the flowers or one of the things that you can use to put the changa on. Might have heard it there, I don't know. Like I said, might have heard it somewhere, I might not have.
Good night, Ma. Peace and love. All the old folks can't hang, see?
Oh, Littles is out. Peace
Yep.
and love, Littles.
Davey, we're still friends, right? You still gonna come to America and do the America chill? You should. You could definitely make a funny video about it. See, you have more than welcome fair use. You can chop up if you need to take clips from this somehow. I don't know how that works. If you can do that with me saying this stuff, you're more than welcome to. You can help to educate other folks. You could make an education, like a public service announcement. This is Jiggy. Jiggy's a fucking idiot. See, I don't want to see. That's what I'm saying. I gotta work on it. I will work on it. Okay. Well, you can have fun with it. Whatever you need to do. That's my ma there, Davey. You gotta say it with a Boston accent. It's ma. I know, out of mind. I was just giving my mother a hard time. And Littles. I'm older than Littles, so me saying it doesn't even make sense. So I'm saying, David, the American chill. You know what I'm saying? If you're over here like just doing the America chill, wherever you are, whoever you meet up with and stuff, it'd be dope. I Passion Flower made you nod. Well, let me ask you something, big sis. When's the last time I don't know if you even smoked marijuana at all. When's the last time have you done that anytime? Like recently at all, ever? Comedy gold. He's gonna be doing fucking stand-ups and fucking comedy clubs all over fucking Scotland and shit, talking about me. I probably gave him fucking fuel for a new stand-up.
New set?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cause yeah, I don't know if you even smoke weed, anything might make you nod. Clearly, you can see weed doesn't make me nod. I'm good. It gives me superpowers. You gonna make some shirts that say American Chill? Absolutely. Thank you, out of mind. There you go. You could have a picture of Davey on it too, looking all cool and shit on the back, maybe. Next to like the Statue of Liberty or something. Something like real American. No, he's gonna be here. Needs to be something here.
Statue of Liberty is not American, technically.
Well, yeah, it's French, isn't it? But I mean, it's in America. I was saying something that's in America.
This is built over there.
But it's some of those things that people fucking they associate it with. You know.
Wasn't even built in America with American steel or anything. It's built in France, shipped over here, put together.
It was the Trojan horse, anyways, and shit. It was full of cells, yes.
Alright.
You want to do that again? Travel down, travel down. Travel down, travel down. Who's smoking with us? Dank Alliance.
Trying to figure out exactly how much we need to get a good one.
Should I turn the fan off too? Because the fan might be blowing the smoke away from me.
Oh, there we go.
And he's on his way, folks. As you watch Smoking, possibly going to see the dudes. That's right. Wow, you haven't smoked weed in 40 years since you were 30? I don't know, big sis. You haven't tried weed in a long time. That was usually what I had problems with weed back then too. Weed is different now. It really is, and they have so many different ways. And you don't even have to just smoke it. Edibles, different things you can do. You should think about it. Just saying. To help you to relax, calm you down, and then maybe we could do a journey from shrooms together. Ma said she wanted to do it. Even Daddy said after hearing me talk about it and stuff that he even wanted to do it. He said, listen to me to talk about the way I talked about it, that it was something he even wanted to try. Brad Gray. I have a grandbaby who's around, but I don't smoke around her. It's just not really any reason to. Would I? Nah, this is not really any reason for it. I think that everybody's supposed to make a choice when it comes to anything. So that's my personal belief. When she's old enough, whatever, and at some point, however she's exposed to it and does it, whatever, if she chooses to, that's up to her. Again, I'm somebody my whole life. The peer pressure was always around me, but for most of my life, for 20-something years, there were random occasions where I smoked weed, but I didn't smoke weed. You couldn't smoke weed in my house, in my vehicle, around me. I had clients who I had to deal with who smoked weed. Sometimes I would smoke weed with them, but it was very, very rare. It just wasn't my thing. So it was a choice. So I'm all about people making choices. I wouldn't want to be the influence of someone doing something just because they want to emulate what they see me do. You know, rather than them come across it however they're exposed to something and then either talk to me about it or go off in their adult life, whatever, and do their thing. That's just my personal way of looking. I can't speak for anybody else. How other people do things, that's just for me. And it's not legalized everywhere in the U.S. There's some states where it's medicinal. There's some states like ours we have both recreational and medicinal. And then there's a lot of states where there's still laws in the books where it's illegal because it's still federally illegal the whole thing is still federally illegal. It's just states and towns and stuff that are passing their own laws within those laws. Yes, I mean, like they may even know what you do, and explaining it to them, whatever, if they come across it. I mean, that's just it's about educating somebody about something. It's listen, you could take your kid to a doctor, and your doctor's going to try to educate your kid on a bunch of medications and shit or whatever and stuff. So it's a parental choice. It's the same thing. Would you rather take your kid to a doctor who's going to try to get your kid on some kind of fucking medication to calm them down, or a teenage, especially teenagers, whatever, they're going to try to pump a bunch of fucking medication. Oh, your kid's got ADHD, PDHD, DDD, Run DMC, and everything and shit, and try to medicate them with a whole bunch of stuff that can be cured. I mean, look at these cases of kids who have seizures and epilepsy, all this different stuff, who are actually literally getting marijuana and stuff. Not smoking it, but getting it in liquid form and stuff, and it's curing them and helping them with seizures and everyday problems that they're having in life. So it's all about the approach and what you teach anybody. I mean, how many kids are most of your teenagers, even still nowadays, are more likely to be exposed to liquor before they're even exposed to marijuana. I was exposed to, I want to say I still was exposed to liquor before marijuana. I absolutely want to say that. And marijuana was the second, that's why it was always a secondary thing. What do you say?
Put up the news one. I meant to put up the fucking last blunt.
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, things like that on the side. You know, it's...
I could do it in a bong would be way better than out of that pipe.
Do you want me to bring I have a rig.
Oh, I got a good bong. Get some good massive bong rips and stuff would be a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I blasted off, but it wasn't anywhere what I think it should be, where it could be. Like when I just, I think some good bong rips out of that would really do it.
I know how many years it was I was messing with you. I can count. Yes, I don't even know what my first drink was. It was probably, I couldn't even tell you. But it was definitely liquor before weed. I mean, back in those days, weed wasn't prevalent everywhere. Everybody didn't really smoke weed back then. You're talking about the fucking, when I got, the 80s? Yeah. Somewhere in the 80s, early 80s. Yeah, you don't seem like drug addicts anymore. Things have changed. They're educating people on what stuff is, and the truth is, all this shit was fucking legal. That's what's so funny about it. All this shit was legal before. They used to have opium dens, everything.
Silicon Valley and shit fucking are all microdosing and doing psychedelics and shit. And Wall Street, too. Everybody crunching numbers and shit all the time. The tech industry is fucking all about doing psychedelics. Microdosing and
shit,
stuff
Agent
like
Orange
that.
might be microdosing to stay awake. That might be where he gets all that fucking energy from. Oh, no, he wouldn't be, because he's not, yeah. That's probably Adderall.
Dude's on fucking meth.
They ain't never had no one. They've never had no one smoke meth better than
It's
anyone
like,
up in this
stuff
place.
that Hitler had.
Oh, shit.
I want some of that.
Yeah, Brad Gray. I used to be I was a drinker, partier, clubbing and shit and everything, because I worked in that atmosphere and stuff for years. So, alcohol I was always exposed to. That was an issue. You could go in my house, I had a full fucking bar. You could drink whatever the fuck you want. You just wasn't smoking nothing in my house.
It's definitely a nice little journey, though. Wow.
Everyone had a need for speed. Yeah. Now, see, now every now and then I'll have a beer, but I don't even really care. There's no liquor. I don't buy it. It's not in the refrigerator even. I'm not even really a social drink. You would say, because social drinkers usually people who have drinks every now and then. I rarely drink. Super Bowl, I'll probably have a drink for Super Bowl, shot, whatever. Especially when we're winning and winning.
What's up, Life 360 Change? Welcome, you're late, but that's alright.
Better late than never.
What's good? Everybody joining with the last blunt? Light them up.
Light them up.
We're gonna have to smoke a last blunt, maybe. Still coming back from my little journey.
Well, for all those who are just joining, tell them what your journey was.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm saying what you did.
Oh, no, I was just smoking some changa. vaping, trying to vape some changa. It's more like smoking it. That's what I'm saying. I think if I do it, it'll.
Yeah, but even before
way.
Nixon, Life 3 changed.
Get some bigger, better hits to
there were
blast
laws
off
on the
really
books
good.
about weed and stuff before Nixon. Before weed, about everything. Cocaine. Fucking Coca-Cola had cocaine in it.
Be a drought
You could go to the
anywhere.
fucking
Roll the
drugstore and get
shit.
all that shit.
What are we smoking on? Trip Team Dream? I don't know. What did you get? Did you get a name?
I don't
deal
even know.
right
I
over
don't
there?
get a
You got
name.
Trip
Good
Team
shit.
Dream. I got Fire OG.
I don't ever ask names. I know where I get it from.
I'm smoking on some weed. Some changa.
Davey Evie, you don't understand what you're saying? Catch an end of me my shows after a bottle of Buckfast. Now, what is Buckfast? I like a whiskey now and a beer or something. Yeah, see, I used to be a champagne. I love champagne. It was just my thing. I always had champagne. It was always champagne in my house. That's what I always had on the road. It's just because of my clients, the people I did security for. That's all these motherfuckers drank was champagne. And then I would drink like champagne with Hypnotic in it. Go fucking figure. Try that shit. The incredible.
Benzo's over the counter. The good old days, huh?
I don't even know what the fuck a benzo is. Oh, Brad Gray, you planted some White Widow, my man. That is out of the names of something that my first encounter with some weed that was just like, fuck, yo. When I lived in this place here called Worcester, Mass, there was the Russian who was my weed dealer, and he was like, you gotta try this. I was like, cool, I'll try that shit. Yo, shit was bomb. And I've never had that exact same one. I mean, I've had some, he's grown some shit. Pennywise, there's some other shit that yes, trust me. Captain Morgan said, Captain and Coke. Xanax and Valium are benzos. Yeah, see, Mike Adams, I know nothing about that type of shit. I've taken 1 million drugs off of people. Fucking, we've confiscated shit at clubs, concerts, and everything like that. But most of the shit I'd have to ask people what it was.
Davey.
What?
Tide sticks.
Tide sticks? What is fucking Tide stick? What's that?
It's old fucking weed wrapped around a stick.
What? What is what?
It's just old school fucking weed shit.
Oh, okay.
They used to get from Thailand and stuff.
World War II speed? Oh, yeah, see, I don't know about that shit. I'm telling you, we kept it simple. Weed, coke, heroin. This is before. I don't even think ecstasy and all that shit. I didn't get exposed to those drugs until like the fucking 90s.
Fucking kinds of different types of fucking drugs and shit.
No, I'm just saying that's just the shit that I knew about, that I at some point sold some of that shit, but not heroin.
Around with drug head.
Crack. Yeah, I didn't hang around druggies. I didn't hang around people who, like I said, no one ever. My sisters, none of them, they smoked weed and shit like that. But they was like, yo, you ever try mushrooms? None of my friends all my life. I got to a point where people would say it, and exposed to like animal in them. And then I was like, no. And then you explained it. And like I said, like Triptine, Willie White, Myco, and everything bond. But it wasn't one of those things that was ever around. I don't even think I've ever, even in all those, in fact, my sister, she's still in the chat. She should remember working that rave in Great Barrington because she worked there. She was doing undercover work for me, security shit that night. But we took all the different kind of drugs. Again, I don't remember taking no mushrooms. I don't think I'd ever seen them. I don't think I'd ever seen a mushroom until you showed them to me. Ever. Except for mushrooms in the fucking store.
Hey, beam me up. Cut out number 1, cut out number 3, leave number 2, and you're good. That's it.
Yeah, see, I've never been a cigarette
number
smoker.
1, get rid of number 3, leave the weed. Everything would be good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Davey. I knew kids that were into heavy shit, but even them, like, they weren't like, yo, mushrooms and like that. I'm talking about motherfuckers who's into coke and all kinds of shit, like heavy coke users and shit. I know dudes who were like crackheads and shit, or on crack, and like, yo, how the fuck is this motherfucker on crack?
Had fucking stuff to come down too.
Yeah, again, never seen it.
Yeah, they don't usually, talk about that stuff like that.
Yeah, again, the occasional beer. I had a beer. I went to the Red Sox game. I had a beer last week. I had a beer, y'all. I drank a beer at the Sox game, kids. Okay?
Yeah, we'll just smoke this one on
Yeah.
beer.
You're not old. You're seasoned. You're wine. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Like that last blunt, folks. We're smoking the last blunt just for y'all. So light it up. Light them up. Put them in there. Yeah, I guess. What is middle age anyways? Middle age compared to what? Because what if you live to be like 200 for some reason? You might be the first person to do that. So that wouldn't make you middle aged. I'm 49, so technically they would say I'm middle aged, right? I guess. Who's coming with us? Occasional beer is good for digestion. Hey.
Yeah, maybe if it's some fucking non-GMO, fucking chemical-free, fucking good fucking homemade beer or some shit like that. But there's other things that are good for digestion too.
I ain't knocking it. Yeah, see, Jonas said none of it. Sold some crack back in the day. Never tried it. Especially once you smell that shit burning. I didn't like that.
Doesn't taste what it fucking smells like though. It's one of those, you know.
The way it smelled was enough for me. I've tasted Coke before. Middle age and Ric Flair crazy. Woo! I hear you, Davey. I don't know what the fuck. I just know what age I'm supposedly am according to our time and our calendar and shit. I'm 49, so I guess, yeah.
Way to go out of mind.
Hey, you never know. Again, they break the rules. The oldest person in America, I think, is like 114 years old right now or some shit. You never know. Anything's possible. Alright, y'all, when we plan that trip to our fucking Vermont escape, who's coming with us? Sleeping bags. Tents if you want. We roughing it. I thought I was generally 27 for 4 years. I have to remind myself how old I am. Like,
yeah, my wife has to remind me it's my birthday and stuff like that.
Oh no, I remember the most important day of the year.
Another trip around the sun.
Yeah, we get to do it all again. Get to start over.
Another day of the year.
It's the beginning of the year. It's my new year. And that's why it's the most important day of the year. Point away like a spiritual experience since it's been a while. I hear you.
Yeah, that's why the mushrooms and stuff is something like that you can do that way. You know, if you've been a person who's fucking had to clean out your system from using and abusing other things and stuff like that, and if you're worried about using stuff, you can use them and not worry about that stuff. Yeah. There's a small few people who are like, "Ooh, I like this fucking buzz, so I'm just gonna keep doing mushrooms now." But very rarely, most people get the message and realize.
Message. Timeless perspective. Definitely agree upon. Yeah. It's like I'm 49, whatever. What time is it? It's 11 o'clock, whatever.
Pretty much. It's just it's a unit of measurement basically that we use, that we base our things upon on this planet. the way things happen and stuff like that. It's just a unit of measurement.
Our
Because that same unit of measurement wouldn't apply if we all lived on Mars, if we lived on Jupiter, if we lived on another fucking planet around another sun. You know, the years change, the hours change, all that changes, all the time changes. So it's just what we use here. Time is, you know.
Davey, how do we know he wasn't late? We don't
Time
know.
is an earthly perspective, because who knows what other people fucking, you know, do they use time? Do they think of things in time wise? You know.
I know we have to plan the Vermont trip. You'll see some secrets, some hidden secrets of how they built the pyramids. Many things are answered in Vermont. There's a portal there.
Vermont trip, maybe, I don't know, maybe the end of August probably.
Yeah, because the first week of September I won't, well, what, 7th, 3rd to the 7th, whatever, I won't be here. Solar orbits, Earth turns.
Yep.
Guess what? Guess what just happened? The last one's being smoked up. Being finished. Let's see. I have an ongoing time travel question I'm asking everyone. Would you guys entertain me with a ponder?
Sure.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Well, yeah, beat me up. Our perspective, our time wise, the way that we tell time and stuff. But again, like an alien on another planet might tell time differently. They might, you know, because it's kind of going to be something that I think every intelligent species figures out. Okay, we're spinning around in circles. We're going around this other ball. How long does it take to do that and stuff? But those times that year would be different and stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of got to be something that, because I guess you got to go from that planet to that planet and do all this stuff and everything. They got to have some way of telling again. Okay, I was born, because the aliens are born. You know, they're not just born fully grown.
Or are they?
Well, I mean, how would that be possible?
Benjamin Button.
Because their fucking mother would have to be fucking huge. They all born
hello, giants.
out of a fucking queen. Yeah, but a giant having a giant baby, full-grown baby, would have to be a fucking super giant.
They found them everywhere. Hello, they're in the Smithsonian.
It would be the same moon, because the moon is the same. It's the same, and because the moon doesn't change or anything like that. The positions and stuff like that of the moon through the times would be different, maybe. You know what I mean? Because you might go back, and whatever time you go back, it might be a full moon on that day. But wherever you go back in time and stuff like that, even if it's on like 10 years or exactly on the same date 10 years before, it might have been on that 10 years period before. It might have been on a new moon day. So but the moon is still the same moon. You're not changing the moon's nothing. It changes about the moon, really. I mean, maybe a comet might have struck it 10 years later. That there's a new little crater that you might be able to see or something. At 10 years before, when you go back and look at 10 years before, you'd be looking at the moon 10 years before. It'd still be the moon. 10 years ahead, you know, like the moon that I look at now, it's the same moon that I looked at fucking 20 years ago when I was a kid. So if I travel back in time and looked at it when I was
Michael
a kid,
Jackson wasn't on it 20 years ago.
when I looked at it 20 years ago, if I went back in time 10 years ago, so it doesn't affect the moon, because the moon doesn't, you know what I mean? The moon doesn't, it's not aging, it's not changing, so the moon would look the same over that course of the 10 years time. You know what I mean? Unless, again, some kind of impact happened over that 10 years, so you go back in time before that happened, and you'd be like, oh, that's the moon before the impact. You go ahead 10 years, and the impact was, you know, during that time, and now, oh, look at the piece of the moon is missing up there now. You know, but I'd go back in time and it'd be 10 years younger me, because I would age, you know, the time, age, or whatever. That's why the whole thing with time travel, when you think about it and you look at it and everything like that, it's it's only, I mean, you got to build something that just works for Earth years. Again, because a year on fucking Mars is different. A year on fucking Jupiter is different than what we would consider a year on Earth. A year on Earth is how long it takes us to go around the sun. How long it takes Jupiter to go around the sun is a lot different than that. So that's why, I mean, when you start to look at it and think of all the fucking physics and everything like that of it, it's fucking mind-boggling when you fucking start to think about it. That's why when I started to get into fucking time travel and everything like that, I totally ruined fucking time travel movies for myself. And fucking, like, The Terminator was one of my favoriteest movies, the first two anyway, the fucking original, and then the second one, which was good. And then I thought about it, I'm like, how the fuck did this motherfucker send his fucking dad back in the first place to have him so he could be in the future to fucking send himself back? It doesn't work!
That works.
Unless by one of chance in one of those fucking multiverse fucking perspectives, because if you put a multiverse perspective on it and they're traveling time through multiverses and stuff like that and everything like that, it's just so, and then at the quantum level, things are just totally not, I mean, fucking, they kind of get a little bit of stuff right with fucking, in Avengers and stuff with quantum stuff and how the time doesn't fucking exist. You're down there, she's down there, she doesn't fucking age, she doesn't do nothing, she doesn't, you know what I mean? And when they're in there, they're like, woo, zipping through wormholes and shit like that. When you get down to that quantum fucking level, it's like, what the fuck is time? So when you'd have to be traveling through time, you got to take your molecular structure and you need to transport it through what? Something that we created here on Earth, anyway, based off of our observations and our calculations from our perspective here in this universe. So it's our perspective from our point in the universe is how we base our time. But again, that point, if we lived on any other planet or another fucking solar system and stuff, is completely different. So I don't know, I mean, that we'd have to talk more about it and think more about it and stuff, but that's basically, you know, how I would see it, because if we were able to travel back in time and I could go back 10 years, I'd be the same moon unless something happened to the moon during that 10 years to make the moon different 10 years in the future. So when I went back, I was looking at an older moon. Because again, the moon doesn't change. The Earth would look different. I'd go back and the Earth would be different. Things that change and stuff would be different because there's, you know, through that time and the way that things, you know, age here on the Earth, or the way we consider things aging on the Earth. Because a tree doesn't know it's fucking aging. A tree's like, yeah, cool, the fucking sun is out. Let me put my leaves. Yay! Oh, it's raining. I'm getting a drink. I mean, is it even thinking that? Or is the tree just fucking standing there?
Well, how do we know the tree
doesn't think
he's aging?
Or a fucking blade of grass. So I think it's just something that this chemical concoction of fucking neurological fucking synapses, fucking all that shit going on up in our brain, we had to be like, oh, wow. As we're looking around from fucking, if we came from apes or whatever we did, and as we evolved, and we're like, fuck. I think there's a cycle to this shit. Now, how many fucking thousands of years do you think it took them to figure all that shit out? Or did they figure it out really quick because they were sitting there on mushrooms? Although, no, because they're on mushrooms, they're like, oh, fuck time, what the fuck is that shit again? Holy shit. And then they're off the mushrooms, they're like, oh, shit, lights up again. Bright. Another day. Mark that on the fucking wall. Here we go again. Oh, it's getting dark again. Once it get dark, it goes over here on this one. You know what I mean? It's just something that we've done through our observations and stuff. That's why the whole astrology thing and stuff with people, and they're like, oh, I'm a Leo and everything's all good because I'm a Leo and it's in Leo right now and all this, and a Capricorn and all this and stuff. When you look at those stars from another planet, they don't make those shapes and those animals and those things that they represent to us here on the Earth, and they don't pass through those things as the same as they do here on Earth. So it's all a bunch of fucking perspective, and
well, that's why it's significant, because
all
it
that
happens
energy
here
that
on
it's
Earth.
like, oh, I'm getting the energy of the fucking all the stars and everything aligning right now for me. Oh, cool. But if you was on Mars right now, what the fuck would be happening? Would you be dying?
Would you get retrograde on Mars? Does Mars get retrograde?
Well, you'd get Earth. Earth would be in retrograde.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Earth is in retrograde. But what about when Earth is on retrograde to Mars right now? Nothing's happening to you. How come you're not ever like, oh my God, Earth is in retrograde. Oh my God, this and that. When you get down to it, when you get into all that fucking astrology and all that stuff, it's all a bunch of. It's only If we were in any other fucking position in the fucking solar system, it's just what we see in the night sky.
Who knows? The last one's been smoked.
It's just human perspective, human process of how we process everything that we go through on a daily basis.
It's the process of the process of the process.
How we understand our place here in this universe, because when we take ourselves out of this and we put ourselves elsewhere, all the math and everything that we use changes. Like a foot. Fucking call a foot on fucking Mars if there was Martians and shit like that, and wouldn't be like, oh, it's this long and that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Some of it might break down and equate and stuff, but numbers, math, how everything, that's all us. It's all human. That's why I say make being human a great again. Look at all the stuff. People like, aliens came here and they built all this stuff. They gave us this knowledge. No, we fucking thought about all this shit. We sat here for fucking thousands of fucking years. Thousands of years just sitting here. Looking at the sky. Oh, it's getting dark. Wow, look at all these twinkly things. Huh, look at that. Huh, 1, 2, 3 in a row. Look at that, huh? And if you're looking at stars and stuff, they make that cross type shape, but if you look at them right way, it kind of makes a pyramid. They're like, huh, wow, look at that. That's floating above our heads. What if we take that? I can't build it. We'll flip that upside down right here. Cool, how are we going to do that? I don't know, let's just sit here and think about that for a while again. Well, we got nothing else to do. Let's go pick out some food or something. Thinking about that. Whoa, tripped over something. Oh, these fucking rock things. Maybe we could do something with these rocks. Make them look like what we see in the sky, so we can see that during the day. That's a good idea, huh? Yeah. Hey, do you think that's a good idea? I mean, what else have we got to do around here? Build a new grass hut for Bob over here, and fucking Betsy having another baby. They didn't make a hut. All right, cool. We'll give them a hand about that. But we could think about building these star things down here, huh? That'd be a pretty cool idea. I mean, that's fucking way more logical and way more explainable. I mean, it's aliens came here and they told us how to stack fucking stones to align to stars that we see in the sky every fucking day. And if you notice, the big stuff aligns with the brighter stars, and then when you get down to it, because this shit all over the fucking... We went to fucking America Stonehenge here in New Hampshire and stuff like that. That thing's got over 300 mapped out star fucking locations marked with fucking some type of rock formation. But because it's all overgrown in woods and buried and shit, they don't fucking... They say there's more. They say the whole fucking northern hemisphere sky could be mapped out right there on the fucking top of that. Why would it be like that? Why would aliens come here and be like, yeah, dudes... You see all that up there? You could put rocks and mark that out.
You too could.
And then you can tell time from your perspective here on this fucking planet. Whoo! Well, thank you, fucking gray-eyed fucking alien fucking dudes from fucking out of fucking space, dude. Blue chicken dudes coming down here telling me all this stuff. That's fucking wonderful. I would have never thought to fucking stack some stones to fucking shit I see every single day. Oh. What else do I see? Oh, some trees. We'll carve these trees that I see all around here every day. We'll carve some of these animals in my own artistic interpretation and shit like that. And how I fucking view the world and shit.
Aliens.
We'll carve this shit all over the place.
Dude, why are you taking away from the aliens?
I know, dude. I'm sorry. It was aliens, everybody. It was aliens. I work for the government. I'm supposed to sit here and tell you it wasn't aliens and everything like that. But it was really aliens. I mean,
he's
it's
a disinformation agent.
I can't lie. It was all aliens. No, fucking think about it. Just go out and spend a week in the fucking woods. Put your phone down, leave it in your car, hike up somewhere, and stay there for a fucking week. See what happens. All night long, you just got to be looking at the fucking, until you fall asleep. You're just laying there. Well, look at these fucking stars everywhere. Huh? I mean, unless it's cloudy and it's overcast and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But you're going to get a couple of good nights at least. Depending on where you live. You might live somewhere when it's not going to rain at all in the desert. Just go out in the desert for a couple of nights. Pretty soon you can be like, fuck, I should just stack up some fucking rocks while I'm out here. I mean, what else I got to do? Some of them you live in, some of them are just, fuck it, we're making a fucking monument to these great stars up here. Again, they were supposedly, some of them were out, the pyramids in Egypt were cased on the outside, so they shone like bright during the day, resembling, we want to make this during the day. But they weren't all like that, but they all somewhat resembled stuff that they see in the sky. It wasn't fucking aliens.
It's always aliens.
Yeah, aliens came here with some technology and they taught us how to stack stones because we couldn't figure it out ourselves. Fucking apes, monkeys fucking stack stones. Fucking my fucking tortoise stack stones. But we couldn't figure out how to fucking stack some stones. That's what I just learned when I fucking blasted off there, guys. That fucking, you know, fuck the fucking aliens. They're out there, but they're nowhere near here. They're not telling us fucking shit. We figured this shit out. We're fucking geniuses. We're smart as fuck. Look at all the shit that we do all the time. We don't need aliens to fucking help us. Not that I mean, I wouldn't fucking like a lightsaber or some shit, but... Alright, everybody. Peace and love. We're out of here.
See you next week.
Till next time.
Tell a friend, be a friend. Like, subscribe, share. Hit us up on social media if you follow. If you're not following, follow. That's it. Peace and love. We out.